Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. Streaming live to you today is myself, Maria, straight from the beautiful Fraser Valley, British Columbia, no longer Vancouver. It's the first time I'm streaming from this location, so welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, if you're watching this stream sometimes from the future, as in after I'm done streaming and then you kind of rewatch it, please feel free to skip the first 30 minutes or so because we'll be like just hanging out with everybody. I'll be answering a bunch of questions from the comments, some introductions, just kind of warming up. And then we'll go back to the actual GTC coverage in about 30 minutes. That's because YouTube sends notifications 30 minutes after the stream has started. So I want to make sure that everyone is here while I'm covering it. Yay! Super happy to be here. Thank you so much, folks, for joining me. Let's see who's here in the comments. Hello. Daryl wants all the AI. Cool. That's cool. There's a lot of it. There, Oscar is giving me, what is it? An Oscar? That's awesome. Hello, Diwakar. Great to see you here. Beluga, my dear friend. Beluga, one of his names in the in the past. Awesome. Good night. Yes, absolutely. Good night. Let's see who else is here. Creative Studios. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Your GPUs and Yay. GPUs and Python. Howdy from Texas. Howdy, my friend. I'd love to visit Texas. I heard some amazing stuff about it during my trip. Great taxes as well. No income tax, as far as I'm aware, which is cool. Hello, and great steaks. Hello from Iron Man. Hello from Derek. Thank you so much. The hat, actually, I got it as a souvenir in the conference. Also, this beautiful shirt. I got a whole bunch of stuff. We had a creators dinner. I'll show you a bunch of photos. You'll recognize a lot of folks from this dinner, that's for sure. I know it because I see who you follow. And I know that many of them you do follow. So yeah, thank you so much for coming. Hello to everyone. Greetings from Chile. Hi. Greetings from beautiful Canada. Afternoon from Ohio, USA. Yay. That's so cool. First time live. Thank you for joining us, Felipe. I do those lives. I try to do it more often. For a while, I've been busy with school. I've been busy with all kinds of stuff. I've moved to this giant house from a tiny apartment, so half of it is unfurnished. There's a whole bunch of stuff to figure out, and then I had the conference that I couldn't miss. At first I wasn't supposed to go, but I'll tell you all about it soon. But yeah, hello. Hi, Muhammad. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hello, Fenty James. Hi. Hello from X. Johnny is here. Johnny, I remember you wrote a comment a few days ago. Hi, great to see you. Great to see you made it back safely. Yes, actually, I had the worst commute pretty much in the history of the world. I think until the last moment, I wasn't sure if I'm staying in Seattle or if I can get to Vancouver somehow. It was kind of bad. So don't take flights with Alaska Airlines. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you. But we'll talk about it more about in about like 30 minutes or so. But yeah, hello, ciao from Italy. Hello, bravo. I know so many things in Italian, but then when I'm on the spot, I forget everything. Buongiorno, principessa. All kinds of stuff. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata, back to you. That's so cool, you guys. Wales. And you're not in the Everest, are you? Are you in the Everest? For real? Is there Wi-Fi on the Everest? This episode is sponsored by, no, actually it is not sponsored. I'm gonna remove my hat. I'm just kind of covering the event. We didn't really, usually I do have like a plan when I'm like when things are sponsored and stuff, but this time it was just kind of, hey Maria, do you want to come? And I'm like, of course I want to come. So we didn't really have a plan. So obviously this stream is gonna have a lot of NVIDIA stuff, but I actually received all kinds of gifts from other from other companies. For example, I don't know if Frank is here, but I said hi to the Red Hat booth. There you go. I have a Red hat. I told them, one of our viewers referred me to Red Hat, and I came and I say, oh, Frank sent me, and they were like, which Frank? And then I got confused because nobody's really sharing their kind of last names. on YouTube. So they just gave me a hat, which was nice. I got a beautiful mascot from Volter. Actually, we're gonna have a nice video about Volter very, very soon. It's a cloud infrastructure. It was showing me some stuff. Cloud infrastructure. I'll be covering in the next tutorial. I'm filming it this Monday. And one of the coolest things I received, probably, I know a lot of you will be excited about it. I received a book from Matt Harrison, Effective Pandas. We'll talk about it. Effective Pandas 2, actually. This is the sequel. We'll talk about it soon. It's absolutely amazing. I forgot to take his signature. So the first, we'll cover it later, but we met first, and I forgot that I should probably grab his signature. And then on the last day, we were supposed to meet, but his flight was leaving like very soon, and we kind of missed each other, unfortunately. So I don't have a signature, but the next time I meet him, I'm gonna request it in a pink pen. That's my personal request. I don't think anyone has like signatures in pink or in colors, anyways, but that would be amazing. Yeah, we'll talk about it soon. I want to make sure everyone is tuning in, because usually in the 30 minutes mark, this is where most people are joining. So I'm trying to implement this. What usually streamers do. I rarely do it, and I always forget to tell you like and subscribe, but now I do remember. You can tell I met with a bunch of content creators who really know their stuff. They're really, really professional. So I learned a lot, and one of the things I learned is call to action, stuff like that. Fun of you from Ethiopia. Hi, do you have a TikTok account? No, I do not have a TikTok account. You can find me mostly on YouTube. I'm trying to post a bit more on X and on LinkedIn. I can finally call it X. I usually call it Twitter, but recently, I don't know what happened. There was a switch in my head. I'm suddenly calling it X, but I'm trying to be more active there. But honestly, I don't think I need more than YouTube. I think most of you guys are here. I don't have much following on other platforms. It feels a bit lonely once in a while. So I'm kind of focusing more here, and we'll do way more live streams than I'm doing right now. I'll invite a bunch of guests, because I met a bunch of like really, really talented creators with some incredible opinions about AI and, all these type of stuff. So it's going to be a very fun stream today. I'm kind of getting used to this new location. There's still no green screen behind me. As you can see, it's still the window. So no fancy green screens today, but yeah, we'll test how it works here. Let's see what else we have here. Hello from France. Hello. Bonjour. Regarding taxes, the lack of income tax is okay, but the property taxes make up for it. At least our Tex-Mex food is good. Absolutely. Like, I didn't eat the food in Texas, but everything that I eat in Texas restaurants, or like Mexican as well, it's like really, really tasty. We have some incredible restaurants here in Vancouver. How much was the cost of the conference pass to GTC? So because I'm a content creator and I'm working with NVIDIA like very, very often, I didn't really pay for this conference pass. Like, I basically was coming there just to kind of feel the atmosphere. So I'll tell you it's like in about 30 minutes, but I was coming there in like the most stressful time that I've ever had. I was not supposed to go there. Initially, I was just supposed to kind of, watch everything streaming live from the comfort of my home, because I had an exam. And I just, and I just moved to a new apartment. So it was like very stressful time for me. But I ended up going. I don't know how I managed to do it. And my exam was during the conference. So I couldn't observe much of it, unfortunately. But NVIDIA was kind enough to invite me. So I really enjoyed whatever I was able to attend. Every day we had all kinds of events and receptions and all kinds of meetings. Sometimes you're meeting with data scientists. Sometimes you're meeting with content creators. Sometimes you're meeting with your, friends from NVIDIA that you've been talking with like for a while, because a lot of my videos, they based on like GPU processing. So I've covered CUDA very often. And during those videos, I usually reached out to some help, from engineers, from folks who are way more knowledgeable than me in those fields, not only to kind of go over everything and make sure I'm saying the correct type of stuff. I don't want to misguide you with anything, but also if I'm having some like struggles or like some errors, like I would reach out to them anyway. So it was nice to see them face to face. It was amazing. But yeah, I think what I enjoyed the most was the creators dinner. It was incredible. Um, and you get to see a lot of people who you recognize, but you're not sure if you recognize. And then when you see them face to face, like, I know you. I know you. So it was really, really cool. Wow, you can speak Arabic. Actually, I don't speak Arabic. I know a few greetings, but I try to be as international as I can. I'm trying to um, speak as many languages as possible. I know even a little bit of Filipino, a little bit. Maganda, Santa no, como está acá. You know? I try to pick up things from different languages, and then when I meet somebody from that side of the world, I'm always I'm always surprising them. But yeah, trying to be international because you guys are so international. Do you still live in Vancouver? No, I actually moved about 50 minutes away from Vancouver. I'm in a countryside. I live in a place called beautiful Fraser Valley. Ah, amazing. Actually, I'm enjoying it. I'm still quite new here, but so far, wow. Wow. I was worried about moving to the countryside at first because I wasn't sure if like all the things that I need are here. But there's actually more. It's very exciting. Maybe it's just this specific city where I live, but it's like, it's very cool here. Um, I love it. Hello. Is it good to see that you made it back safely? Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of worried because I was going alone. I'm never alone abroad. And it's like a very I wasn't staying really at the center, like where all the hotels are, where the conference is. So I was kind of navigating my way through the city. I was kind of enjoying the San Jose that usually people who do not attend conference rarely get to see. So I was there. So it was kind of scary, but once you get to the conference area, it's like a whole different place. It's like a whole different city, a whole different atmosphere. You meet completely different, type of personalities, and it felt like two different cities. But we'll talk about it more. We'll talk about it more. I'll show you pictures and stuff. You're gonna see more. I promise. Happy Nowruz. Oh, happy Nowruz. It's the Iranian New Year, I believe. I have some Persian friends, many Persian friends actually in Coquitlam. There's like a big Persian community. Baha'i, they're celebrating I don't know much about the Baha'i religion, but we have like a lot of Baha'is here. Cool. So like happy Nowruz, happy. I forgot how there is an official greeting and I forgot how to say it. It's always when I'm on the spot, I can't remember the actual words. You look cute today. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. Thank you. From India. Namaste. Hello. Thank you for coming. I know a word here and there. Print hello Python simplified. Hello Nelson. So let's go to the bottom of the comments because right now it's like all the hellos. I've seen something about Devin. What do you think about Devin? The guy she told you not to worry about. Did I tell you not to worry about? Did I tell you? I don't think so. But what I think of Devin, every time I hear the word Devin, I keep thinking of a song by Disturbed. Like, I don't know if you guys are like heavy metal fans, but I keep thinking of Devin won't go to heaven. She's just another lost soul about to be mine again. So it's hard for me to take Devin seriously. I always think of a song I like, and it's a song about like some very morbid themes, So it's hard for me to kind of associate it with this AI that is replacing that is meant to replace folks who are coding. But if you go back to a bunch of vlogs I made about ChatGPT in particular, not really Devin, I was trying to explain why I'm not covering ChatGPT on the channel, and somehow this vlog got to a lot of people who are not really viewing the channel. I kind of filmed it for you guys, and then a bunch of strangers ended up seeing it because I guess it was trending or something, the GPT type of things. And the amount of comments I got on this video is way more than I got on any video in the history of this channel. So we started like really serious discussions about like the future of AI, where it's going, like how is it dangerous, to us developers? Is it going to replace us, stuff like that? So definitely check out the comment section if you're in this video. I think it's called My Thoughts About ChatGPT. There's like a thumbnail of angels and demons around me, something like that. But just kind of scroll down in the videos. I think you're gonna like it. So yeah, that's not what I said. about these type of AIs. And I think I didn't really explain myself very well in this video, because I wasn't planning that strangers will watch it. I was kind of just, I'm not good at vlogs, honestly. That's why this vlog I'm filming it live. I talk better when there's some kind of feedback from people. When it's a vlog, I usually look at the camera and I kind of talk, and I don't know if I'm particularly good at this side of things. So I'm glad you guys are here asking me questions, and we're talking about these type of stuff. Can you discuss the future of Python and AI? Actually, I'm going to invite some really nice guests to discuss it with me. I'll keep you in a loop, because it's something that is fun to talk about with other individuals. When it's me alone, it's kind of, well, this is just my opinion about it. But I think we still need to figure out where we're going, and for this it's nice to have like counter opinions. So I'm going to invite some knowledgeable AI guests, and we'll talk about it a bit more. But yeah, let's go to the bottom of the comments. Let's see. Grasshopper, I guess Fraser Valley is the only place left in the area where people can still buy houses at reachable price. How cheaper is it compared to Burnaby, for instance? So we didn't really buy this house. We moved here. We're still renting. Mortgage rates are not in a good shape. Sorry, not mortgage. Interest rates are not in a good shape. So it's very, very tough to get a mortgage. And when you get it, you got to pay a lot of money, more than the house is actually worth it. I think we're at like 7%. So we're not buying yet. We're renting. And it's funny you're asking, but the reason why we moved here is because our building became like 5 years old. And once you get to like 5 years old, you need to renew your mortgage. So what our landlord used to pay for his mortgage is no longer the same price. When he renewed the mortgage, he now needs to pay like way more. So our entire building pretty much got evicted, like most of us. It's not the right way to do it, right? But the only way for you to raise somebody's rent is like if you ask them for like 2% more. And 2% more is not going to cover the cost of your mortgage. So everybody got messages of like, oh, my parents are coming from abroad and they're going to live in this apartment and stuff like that. So their parents are obviously not coming. The entire building, their parents are coming at the same time. It's like a very tall building. There's like 13 or something floors, or 17 if I'm not mistaken. So the chances of all these parents coming at the same time are slim to none. But yeah, that we started looking for apartments in Burnaby, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I used to stream from a very, very tiny office. It was like 5 foot by 6 foot office. It was like a tiny cubicle. There was no room for my legs. I swear, when I filmed this little short where I was sitting on the desk itself, it was because I couldn't fit with the computer in the background. It was horrible. It was very, very tiny. I switched the phone. I changed to this fancy phone with all these cameras here. Okay. But the zoom factor was way worse than in my previous phone. So I'm not filming shorts anymore because of that, because of all the comments I got on this video. It was kind of creepy, but I needed a bigger office. that was the reason I started to talk about it. I needed a much bigger office where I can actually move and I can flex, and my legs would fit. So I ended up looking for 2-bedroom apartments in Burnaby because we didn't want to move. Our friends are there. My spouse was working there. Like he needed to proximity to the big city because he was like building high-rise buildings, doing like really, really intense stuff. Still is. But, that was like a necessity of us to be around the big city. And what it costs for a 2-bedroom apartment in Burnaby, which is about 850 square foot in size. So it's not very big. It's the same price that a giant house, giant, luxurious, enormous house costs here. So that's why we're here, because it just didn't make any sense. The quality of life wouldn't improve that much. Yeah, I'm going to have a bigger office, but we're going to pay so much money for it. It just didn't make sense. So that's why we're in a countryside. One of the reasons, actually, there are a few reasons, but yeah. So that's basically your comparison. So I'm assuming you're from the region, Burnaby, Fraser Valley. So, yeah. Oh, hello from Bulgaria. Amazing. My spouse is from Bulgaria. Costa Peach. I know a few words in Bulgarian too. Actually, I understand more than I can speak. But when I read, it's very readable. We have the same like Cyrillic alphabet. Hi, Grok One. Sorry. Hi, Grok One. Now open source your thoughts. I haven't had a chance to try it yet. I came back home. Yes, yeah, it was yesterday because it was like it's 12:30 at night. I came home. I was starving. So we went to a 24-hour open diner, which is something that we have here in the countryside. But ironically, I didn't have in a big city. So we ended up eating like egg Benedict. Like 2 o'clock in the morning, we're eating egg Benedict. It was amazing. So yeah, I had a crazy commute, you guys. I'll talk about it a bit later. But yeah, so yeah, hi, hello from Bulgaria. Hi, discovered Python Turtle library. Nice. It's like for image processing. I didn't cover Turtle on the channel yet. I think I'm using more like OpenCV or Pillow, these type of stuff, but I should definitely cover it. There's some nice. It's a very simple syntax, and we are nearing the 30 minutes mark. So let's wait a bit more comments. How does NVIDIA play into AI and GPU? Well, have you seen my CUDA tutorials? If you did, you wouldn't have this question. But the thing about it's very, very hard to process those large data structures that required for AI, on the CPU. The reason is you need a lot of parallel processing. You need to run a lot of processes in parallel, and the number of cores, the number of processing cores that a GPU has is exponentially larger than the amount of processing cores that a CPU has. So, for example, yeah, we'll talk about it later. I'm not gonna, because it's one of those things that we should probably cover when the stream officially begins. Right now, we're just kind of in introduction stage. So once we hit the 30 minutes mark, we will talk all about it. But if you're interested, check out my CUDA tutorial, CUDA for beginners. You have all this information over there. It compares CPUs with GPUs, and the thing about artificial intelligence is that you need it in order to kind of finish training in a timely fashion, in a timely manner. Otherwise, training will take you weeks and months or whatever. So we use GPUs to speed up the process of training that requires lots and lots of data and like giant data structure. So that's basically the connection between GPUs, which is what NVIDIA makes. Also, they make CPUs. I don't know if you heard of the Grace Hopper CPU. It's like supposed to be a beast. I haven't had a chance to play around with it, but it's pretty intense. But yeah, hardware accessible by Python threads. Well, that's the thing. Threads is more of a CPU type of thing, but we use GPUs for training for the most part. Cool. Let's see. Hi from Poland. The video is mirrored. Actually, this is a bit more convenient for me to behave that way, because if I move to this side, it shows me that I moved to this side. If I mirror the image, it's very unintuitive for me when I kind of look. If you see how my studio looks like, you would understand. But yeah, usually when I'm filming things, if I'm not going live, I mirror the video so you can see like the text, the NVIDIA and stuff. But I kind of just wore this shirt because I thought it would be appropriate. I came back from the GTC, so it kind of makes sense to wear it. I also had a hat, but I don't like wearing hats at home. I don't know if you're from Eastern Europe. It's kind of a necessity to take off your hat. Leo from Poland. Maybe he knows what I'm talking about. Every time I'm with a hat, my mom is like, Maria, take off the hat. You're at home. Yeah. Hi from Brazil. Hello. Hi from Turkey. Nice. You should check Devika, Devin's alternative. Is that the female Devin? Devika. Devka. Oh, hi, Richard. Great to see you. Awesome. So what is the purpose of the init method in Python classes? So check out my I have amazing tutorials about it, you guys. Check out my object-oriented programming. I don't actually, I explain it in a if yeah, I explain it there. Yeah, check it out. So I can actually pull out if I do this. Okay, I'm gonna show you this video. Hold on, because I usually show it to you guys, but right now because I don't have a green screen, I'm kind of not as confident about what I'm doing and what I'm showing. But let's see. Object oriented programming. Let's see. There you go. Can you see it? Ah, awesome. So the video I'm talking about is this OOP, classes and objects. I explain it a bit. I call attributes attributes. So my apologies. I thought it's a English versus British thing, but it is not. It is a noun versus a verb type of thing. So other than that, like, it's a very informative video. I know that a lot of universities are using it for, extra material. I know it from your comments, and I know it from my friends who study, and they're like, Maria, they they show your videos in my class, and it's really cool. The other video that I would recommend is the OOP class inheritance and private classes. This is where I kind of get into a bit more details about object-oriented programming, but you get to practice it in this draw a forest of objects, random tree objects video. So there's like 3 videos for you to kind of grasp it if you'd like. So definitely check them out. This is less of a technical type of video. It's more of a blog. So we're going to cover less technical things too. Okay, back to the other scene. See, I'm improving. I just need a streamer's deck. I don't have it yet, but I'll definitely find it. Hello, VR News. Hi from Ukraine. Zdrasty. Thank you so much for your tutorials. Absolutely. Hi. Cibula. I don't know Ukrainian very well, but I know a few words. Cibula is onion. Kochаю is I love you. Sorry. Я тебе kochаю. I think it's я тебе kochаю. Something like that. Kochаю is love. I love. That's pretty much what I remember. It's been a while. I left since I think when I was 6. Many years ago. Much longer than you guys think, actually. So, which other creators did you meet at the GTC? Yes, you're gonna have to wait for it. But I'll show you a whole array of creators. We had a lot of people. So we had some tours in the NVIDIA offices. We had some, like, the new office they built. We had some dinners, and we were just hanging out. Like, after we met officially at the dinner, we kind of had a chance to hang out and do all kinds of really cool stuff. I got to see the NVIAC, okay? The NVIAC computer that I was covering in my How Computers Think series, briefly covering. I got to see it in real life, and I didn't know that I'm going to get to see it. I had no idea. So it was very exciting. I took a selfie with it. I'm going to show you all these things. So it was incredible. It was very, very productive in terms of the type of tips and the type of experience I received. So it was really, really cool. We'll talk about it soon. First, I want to thank you for helping us with Python. You've been a great help to us. I wish to gain 1 million subscribers in a short time because you truly deserve it. Thank you so much. Thank you from Egypt. Thank you. I really appreciate it. 1 million would be a bit overwhelming. I don't know if I'll be able to communicate with you in the same way. So kind of slower build up, I think, is a bit better for me because that way I get to meet you and I get to understand what you guys want to see, where you guys coming from, like what kind of what you're streaming to learn, what would be like the best thing for you to, what would make you happier in life, help you progress and stuff. So I'm glad that we have a slightly smaller community than all those like giant channels that only reply to how do you call it, super chats and stuff like that. I'm glad that I get to discuss with you without you paying like money for those comments. Cool. Bomba. Thank you. Bomba. Umo tota bomba. That was my attempt to speak Spanish. I don't remember the lyrics of this song. From The Matrix. Oh, wow. Hi. I hope you're somewhat enjoying it. I know it's hard to enjoy The Matrix, but yeah. Hello from Sri Lanka. Happy Saturday from New York City. Hi. Brazil. Wow. Thank you guys for joining. We have Germany. Wow. Incredible. Did you see Devin AI? I think it will be better than ChatGPT. And what do you think about Devin AI? I'll talk about it. I'll cover it. I want to keep this stream in one topic. um, and I didn't have a chance to play around with Devin. I know what people are saying about Devin, but in order to share my opinion about something, I kind of feel like I need to experiment with it. I kind of need to see it for myself, and then I'll have an established opinion rather than just kind of telling you what somebody else told you, which you can just, I guess, learn on their channels and on their outlets. So, yeah, uh, awesome, awesome. Let's see. Let's see. Hello from Brazil. I don't have a GPU, so I need to buy time from virtual machines to infer and train LLMs. Any recommendations? So yeah, actually, I'm gonna have a nice video. The next video is about parallel computing and about like harvesting power of GPU and CPU from cloud computing. We're gonna use an infrastructure called Volter. Um, More about it in the next tutorial. I've experimented with it a lot. I think, in price wise, they're in a very, very good spot. And I'm going to use it as a use case, but I guess you can apply this video on many other infrastructures. But that's the infrastructure that I'm used to. I used a bit of Azure, a bit of. I couldn't figure out. There was too many buttons and stuff like that. I tried using it, but it was not intuitive for me. But with Volter, I found my way. I didn't even need to ask for help. Usually, I reach out to to engineers and like, did I get it right? Am I going to teach them some wrong stuff? But this time, I think it was pretty easy to do. So if you navigate, check them out and let me know what you think. Actually, before I'm even filming this tutorial, reach out to me. Maybe in the comments of this live stream, let me know what you think. So Volter, they spell it a bit differently. Volter.com. There you go. So, I'm not showing it to you guys. I'm going to move to the other screen. So this is the site I'm talking about. So it's VULTR. Check them out. This is my only experience pretty much with cloud computing that worked. Azure didn't really work for me. I was trying, but I got overwhelmed. So yeah, check them out. But I'll give you a proper tutorial shortly. I'm filming it on Monday, so you'll get to see it very, very soon. Awesome. So great. We are after the 30 minutes mark. I think everyone who wanted to join has joined. So let me greet you guys once again. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm streaming live from no longer Vancouver, but beautiful Fraser Valley, British Columbia. Not too far from Vancouver, actually, really on the border with the States. So great to see you. Oh, we have a nice super chat. Thank you so much. Your SQLite videos really helped me to get my hand around databases. Thank you. Awesome. I'm so happy they helped you. Did you catch the commit comment that I missed? So one of the commands in the very first video that I filmed about SQLite, I'll show you which one it was, SQLite, just to kind of give you some pointers. And you cannot see it again. Holy smokes. I definitely need a streamer's deck. So this SQLite video of mine that I covered a bunch of GTA examples. So in this one, I forgot to add a connection.commit or a cursor.commit. I can't remember, but there is a .commit method that I forgot to include in this video. That's why you have this comment. Please note that you see there. And then I covered it in the web scraping databases. I did mention it there. So that was my only correction on this video. And yeah, awesome. Glad I was able to help. That's great. Are you interested in AI project connected with blockchain? I'm not really getting into the crypto type of things, but we can cover, the blockchain algorithm if you'd like. If I see a lot of comments asking me to kind of give you some introduction to what it means, like how it works, for sure we can cover it. I'm comfortable with covering these type of stuff. I love it. Awesome. So cool. Let's start talking about my GTC experience. I have a bunch of photos for you guys. I got a bunch of goodies. I have a bunch of hats and a bunch of coffee cups, coffee mugs that I've been sipping from, but my coffee is honestly quite cold at this point. I got more stuff. I got some socks, and this is just from NVIDIA. And then when you walk around the conference, you can see different, booths of people. That was in the Expo Center. Expo, was it a center? It was a giant room. We called it the Expo room, where you just pass by and you see, all these different vendors, all these different technology company, all these different like robots. You see them everywhere, and everything is so overwhelming. There's so much going on, so many people. There's a lot of food, a lot of drinks, a lot of new technologies that you don't really get to see on the market just yet. And they, before they release it, they kind of show it to you. And some of the technologies you actually do see on the market, but you get all kinds of goodies when you approach, folks. And again, I'm gonna say, Frank, if you are here, I said hi to the red hat boot, and I got even a hat as evidence. So I did say hi, and I told them that you sent me. They weren't sure which Frank you are, but yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. So let's start with some of the photos. Actually, I got a super chat before we go there. Thank you so much for the awesome super chat. How did it feel to be at the GTC? You're wonderful, the best woman in the world of technology. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to read it. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to get into. Thank you so much for the question. Now I have to respond. It's not just coming from me. You guys actually want to know, which is incredible. Thank you. I appreciate it. So how it felt. Let's start from the fact that when you arrive there, okay, and I'm going to show you a picture to kind of understand the magnitude of things. Is once you arrive, hold on, I'll pull out a nicer picture. Once you arrive, you are greeted by 4 robots who are dancing in complete sync. They are completely synchronized, right? What you see here is like one of them went out of sync. So in front of this giant GTC sign, looks like that. It's like beautiful, and everybody's taking pictures there. And here are the robots. So it's the Go-To robots, right? Yeah, I got it right. They call it new intelligent species. Incredible. So they were all in sync, and they were dancing, and everybody was like taking pictures of them, which was really, really cool. And I have a few pictures where they are in sync. There you go. They're not looking at the same direction, but they're having the same movements. Here they are still in sync, and this is my hey type of moment. But then as soon as I started posing with one, I got near it, and somebody, was taking my pictures. Amazing pictures, by the way. If you're watching this and you are the guy who took the pictures, you're talented. You need to do something with this. You got to become a photographer. Do you see it well? Yeah, you do. Cool. Yeah, and my apologies for the setup. It's my first time I'm showing you these things. I'm going to upload a nice blog where I cover it properly, and you'll get to see all these pictures once again. Of course, as many times as you want if you need. This is just kind of the background. Actually, let me make it a bit bigger. Let me make it bigger. Hopefully, Windows will apply it on the rest of the pictures. Yeah, there you go. That's a bit better. And I'm going to move it here. Technical stuff. There you go. So that's when it started to go out of sync. Okay. I didn't know it back then because I was too busy posing and smiling. But at this stage, when the guy climbed, it was kind of evident that something happened. I thought that he's going to climb on me. I think I screamed a little bit. It was really fun. And at first I thought that it's basically, this is how they were designed. They were reacting to things, right? They had like cameras, and once they recognize another camera, they basically started posing. I thought that's what happened. Later on, I realized that there was a guy with a remote control who was controlling them, and he probably thought it would be amusing, and it was. People did enjoy this moment, so it was really, really cool. So that's the first impression when you even like arrive there, which to me is insane. I've never seen these type of robots in real life, so it was quite the experience, for sure. And then when you enter, there are so many people. Even when you get near there, because I'm not from San Jose, I had no idea, where I'm going. I called an Uber. I told her like take me to the take me to the convention center, and I she kind of dropped me off, not it kind of in a back. So I couldn't really see what was going on in the front. And on the way there, you suddenly realize, okay, I'm in the right place, because the closer you get to the center, the more signs of with the signature green that Nvidia has, like the more signs you see, and suddenly you see people with suits and backpacks, which is a combination that I rarely see. Laptop backpacks, usually it's either suits or t-shirts and backpacks, but these folks, they had it all. And there was like groups of people walking in the same direction, looking exciting. So it was obvious that I'm in the right place. I didn't go lost. It was really, really cool. And then once you go in, the first thing you see is this beautiful car, this beautiful Mercedes. Now, I used to have a Mercedes myself, so I'm deaf. Oh, you don't see it. Sorry, technical issues. You see this beautiful Mercedes with my favorite grill. They have all kinds of grills, but that's my favorite one. And then you see it, on the side. And the only reason why I was able to take pictures of it is because I took them later. So you go through security. There's definitely security. They made sure that nobody's bringing up some nasty things into the conference. Very nice security people. Hi, Michael, if you're watching it. I met a nice security guy there. What else was there? And then you go into the conference itself. And this is just kind of the view from the outside, just so you can realize that how many people were outside. And inside, I didn't want to take any pictures because honestly, I was a bit shocked with how many people were there. I didn't expect so many people, and everybody seemed to have a goal. Everybody were really goal oriented, and I'm just there walking around confused because I've been working from home for the past few years. So I don't have this like team dynamics that I'm well practiced on. So it was very, very overwhelming. And everybody looked amazing. Everybody was wearing their amazing suits. And there was me. I don't know. It was very, very, at least the first hour was just me walking around the conference, just trying to understand um, where I need to go. There was coffee everywhere. There were really, really nice folks. I spoke to a very nice lady randomly, started a conversation, because the whole idea of coming to this conference is meeting people. And I don't know. I'm very shy. It doesn't look that way because I'm streaming, and I have this channel where you guys see me all the time. But when I'm meeting new people, I'm a bit shy. So when there's so many people, for me to start a conversation with them, it takes a lot of strength and and effort. I wasn't particularly good at it, at least at first, but then it got a bit better. Now, the first thing I did when I arrived to the conference, I had an interview with the NVIDIA amazing team of NVIDIA. There you go. We took some selfies. We have here Jamil. We have here Jessica, Christina, the beautiful production team. There you go. We had a nice interview in the what was it, the training center. And yeah, I spoke to the folks from the training center. I tried to find out how I can kind of basically um, refer you guys to the training they have. They still don't have it available yet, but they have like certification programs that you can actually take, and they certify you, make you job ready, and you have this certificate from NVIDIA basically. So they didn't start it yet. They will start it very soon. I wanted to try to pass the test to get it for myself, but I was kind of too late. But yeah, we had a very nice interview there. Yeah, I'll show you a few pictures, but it's kind of hard to see what went on. But I was very excited because usually I tell you that AI is not difficult, and everybody can attempt it, but I tell it to you guys all the time, and you already watch the channel, and you already know that this is the case because you're already familiar with my videos, so you probably had a chance to see that. Oh, okay, well, I don't need to be a genius to learn AI, right? But it gave me an opportunity to kind of sorry, I'm getting like text messages, not from my Facebook, from my spouse's Facebook, who opened a Facebook recently. I did not. Okay, so it kind of gave me an opportunity to speak to a broader audience that is more involved with the data side of things, and from the data community, and kind of tell them that it's very easy to get intimidated when you start learning artificial intelligence. You always see those like complex formulas, those mathematical formulas that are, sorry, my mom is calling me, holy smokes, all those complex mathematical formulas with all those squiggly lines and I call it squiggly lines, all those doodles that you need to try to understand, because they cover large data structures. So instead of covering a single input, they cover a whole array of inputs. And it's very easy to get overwhelmed. But that's not the only way to explain the concept. There are so many different ways to explain it. You can use real life examples, you can use illustrations, and you don't have to start with like complex mathematical things. And it was basically an encouragement of like, don't get overwhelmed. If you need help, here's where you can find it. So it was really, I don't know, it was cool to kind of, first of all, get an interview in person. I've never had it before. And the team was like very, very professional. So like lights, cameras, and they had this thing that just like schlock and like take one. I don't even know how to call it, so I'll call it a schlock. It's like take one, cluck, and you start talking. And it was really, really nice, like meeting the team. Some of them I spoke to over the internet, but it was great to meet them in person. And just to see how the production process of like a professional team works. I never had it before. Yeah, it was incredible. So because of the interview, it took some time. So I was late to the keynote, the amazing keynote. Let's see, I'm gonna pull out some pictures from there. Oh, actually, on the way, there you go. On the way to the keynote, we were waiting in a giant lineup, and we were kind of running late because the interview ended up at 12, and by 12:30, I was supposed to already be seated. So we were waiting in line, and as I was waiting in line, Chris, a viewer of the channel, approached me, and he was like, "Hi, Maria." I'm Chris. So basically, I took a photo with him. I asked him, like, "Can you pose with me?" And he allowed me to use it. So, Chris, thank you so much for approaching me. You're the only guy who did it. So nobody else did. I know that a lot of viewers were on the conference, but nobody actually came to say hi. you know, Unfortunately, I was there to speak to people, but I wouldn't be the first to approach because I'm a bit shy. But Chris, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I send him the photos. He has the photos. He'll probably post it on his social media later. But it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for having the guts to kind of to approach, because I know it's kind of intimidating. I do realize that. So thank you. It was really, really cool. What else do I have here? So when you get to the SAP Center, and we got, I wasn't sure what to do with my hands, so it's always a peace sign. I'm a bit of a hippie. I don't know if you can tell. So on the way to the SAP Center, we took a train. It was packed, completely packed. On the right-hand side, there was like a giant marching band, those bands that you usually see in football games. And they were playing Crazy Train by Black Sabbath, which I'm a big fan of. So it was really, really, really nice. And lots of people. It doesn't show it in the picture because Jamil did a very good job taking this photo. Thank you so much. But if you only seen the crowds, it was insane. I don't know if I'm right. You gotta have to like fact check me on this one. But I think there were like 50,000 people in the SAP Center, which is probably more than a hockey game, honestly. Like we have hockey game arenas here. I don't think they're as big as 50,000 people, because some of them were standing. They couldn't find a seat. So for me, hold on, let me show you. Oh, so this is the SAP Center, which is insane. It was packed, absolutely packed. Let's see if I had any more videos. I have more on the camera. This was with my phone. But yeah, I took some selfies. No, sorry, it's a bad selfie. Let me pull out the good selfies. There you go. No, hold on. Let me pull out the crowd first. Sorry. Just so you kind of understand the magnitude of things, okay? All of it was filled with people. All of it. Now, I was supposed to sit here in the middle with all the press, but because I came late, there was no room. So I ended up sitting, somewhere. It was pretty close, actually. It wasn't that bad. I saw a lot of the event. I just had like this pole that was kind of blocking some of my sight, so it was hard to film. But then, a lot of people got to film the event. A lot of footage from, the official footage is available. So will be available, I guess, on April 8th. Or is it already available? The keynote may already be available, but the rest of the sessions will be available on April 8th. But that was definitely like a rock concert. And the whole integration of lights and sound, and the production was incredible. The production was like out of this world. And to be fair, when you come with a so one of the cool things that they did is when you come to the center, you get this registration badge. And if you are designated as press, which is what I was, I don't know if you can see it pretty well. When you're designated as press, there's a lot of NVIDIA employees that see it, and they kind of guide you to the place, because again, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. The magnitude is crazy, but everywhere there are folks with NVIDIA, like wearing like NVIDIA t-shirts, green, like bright, so you can see them, and they notice you, and they're like, okay, let's go, you're late, you gotta go. You see this press, there's somebody with a sign with named press, just go to that person and they're gonna seat you. So I was supposed to be here, but unfortunately I didn't make it here. It's sad, but it's okay. It's okay. I enjoyed it anyways. So 10 minutes before Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA, went on stage, we got this beautiful, it doesn't show it here, but I have I have a video of it, which is incredible. I'm gonna, maybe one of the next streams, or maybe in the blog post. Hold on, guys. I gotta answer my mom. Just a sec. My apologies. I forgot to call her before the stream. Yeah. Мама, я тебе перезвоню. Я на прямой трансляции. Да? Давай, на щекот. Bye. Yeah. Okay. So, mom is not gonna call me anymore. She knows not to call. My apologies, you guys. It slipped from my mind. I was so excited about this stream, because it's the first stream in this new location. So I forgot to tell her, Mom, I'm busy. You can't call me on Skype. But it's funny because she's subscribed, so she's supposed to see. Maybe she just wanted to be famous. Who knows? Привет, mama. Okay, so basically 10 minutes before Jensen went up, we started to see this beautiful art by AI, and it doesn't show it, but it's like generated live. And this is me taking selfies with this art. And I look a bit like Hellboy, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It was really, really cool. And then, so this art, by the way, it's not just the visual side of things, it is also the sound. So I think the sound was also auto-generated. And then Jensen came on stage, which was I think he received the welcoming of a rock star, nothing short of a rock star. It was pretty cool. So this is where I was sitting, and this is the pole that I was talking about that was kind of interrupting my vision, but it is what it is. I did enjoy it anyways. It was still incredible. So all the lights were in sync. So very often when there was like visual things to see, all the, a bunch of seats would lit up. There was like it's hard to explain, but I have it all on footage, so I should be able to explain it properly later. Definitely check out the blog that I'm going to post soon. And then after the keynote, I think, I've never seen so many people in my life, but everybody left at the same time, and everybody were walking. No, but I don't think anybody waited for the trains. Everybody just walking together towards the conference center, because the keynote was in a different place. It was in the SAP Center, which was 15 minutes away from where the conference is. And a massive crowd of people just started walking from the center to the conference center. Wow. I think the traffic was really angry about it. we had a lot of beep beep. People were really upset because it's a giant magnitude. Again, like it's felt like 50,000 people. I don't know if it's true. I'm gonna have to double check with. I'll talk to Mark from NVIDIA. I'll double check with him, but 50,000 people. It surely felt like it. And then we got to the SAP center, to the conference center. And in the conference center, this is when I met Matt. There you go. You recognize Matt. Oh, you don't see. Come on. Come on, Maria. Okay. Stop switching. I met Matt Harrison, the author of a bunch of really, really cool books. This is the one that I got from him. This is his most recent creation, Effective Pandas 2. For data science nerds like me, it's very, very exciting. So we got to sit, we got to exchange some ideas. He gave me incredible tips about like Python simplified, about the whole creative process, because he's been doing it for years upon years. So I think in terms of book writing, he's doing it for like 10 years. So he has a whole bunch of books. Definitely check them out. But in terms of Python, he's teaching it for 25 years. So pretty much all the way from the inception of Python, he's been like covering it in many, many different conferences and training sessions. And he has a very active LinkedIn account. So definitely check it out. It was amazing to sit down with somebody who so many years, has been dealing with Python, versus me. I'm pretty much of a newbie. I discovered Python when I discovered machine learning, which was around 2018. So speaking to somebody who's seen so many iterations of this beautiful language that we all use was incredible. And he gave me incredible tips about book writing, which is something really, really, that sounds very, very difficult, but also, there's a way of making it easier. So this is something we discussed. I'm not going to share it with anyone because this is secrets of the trade. But yeah, it was really fun. Matt, if you're watching it, thank you so much. And I wish I got your signature. I don't know. We kind of got missed out on the last day. He has a flight. He had to go, but next time for sure. For sure. It means I'm going to bring the book with me, for another conference. It was really, really fun. Let's see what else we had there. And that was pretty much my day. I also seen the Adobe offices, and I'm using Adobe since I'm 12. So actually in the center of San Jose, I'm going to show you some more footage of this later on, because I didn't capture a lot at this time. I had an exam the next day, so I was rushing to kind of study more. But yeah, I didn't enjoy my time until I finished the exam. Only after I finished the exam, I was like, okay, now I get to now I get to like clearly think about where I am, who I'm meeting, what I'm doing. Until then, it was just like pure stress. Thank you, University of London, for making me go through it. Thank you. And I'm going to have a full rant about it. Don't worry. Don't you worry. There's actually a procedure where somebody who is unable to attend for whichever reason, who is unable to attend, given the flexible nature of my program, there's a procedure, and I followed the procedure. Everything was fine, and they refused to delay my exam or kind of change the date or whatever. They literally told me, just they basically provide you a solution, right? You reach out to them, you provide them evidence of like, hey, I'm not going to be in Canada. I'm not going to be home. I'm somewhere else. I cannot attend it. There is no physical way for me to attend this exam. And they tell you, okay, no problem. Just fail. Stay for another semester. After you're done school, stay for another semester and pay us 250 more euros so you can retake this exam. This was their solution. Just fail. So I was kind of between a rock and a hard place. So I couldn't say, I couldn't say, well, I'm just going to fail. I'm too Soviet for that. My parents, they gave me this type of education where I'm kind of striving to perfection, and I couldn't just fail. Plus, they don't deserve those 250 euros, honestly. So I don't want to pay them this. So I had to do the exam when I was there. So thank you, University of London, for this nightmare. Thank you. But yes. Let's not talk about the university. Okay. The next day was really, really cool, you guys. And I'm going to show you some stuff that I don't know if you get to see anywhere else. Probably the other creators who attended the tour, they'll also share it with you. But these things are very new, and these things are generally, you're not allowed to take pictures there. Okay, we were allowed to take in certain spaces. Like I wish I had more pictures, but it's absolutely cool. So the next morning we got to visit the NVIDIA offices, the new ones, not the old ones. They built something. Is that my cat here? Ah, they built something that looks like a spaceship. Okay, so as you approach it, you're not sure what you're looking at. Is that a building? Is that a spaceship? It's a building. Okay, and the project manager of the building, he was actually doing the tour. So he was talking about all the design challenges and all the solutions they had, because when you're building a building, there's all kinds of codes, local codes that you need to comply with, fire hazard stuff like that. So he was explaining us, basically, we wanted this design, but because the codes were like that, we needed to find a way to comply, and to kind of change the design. So they did some like really creative stuff. So let me show you around. So the first picture I took was the skylight. This is basically a completely sheer skylight they have above a staircase. That was the first picture. Then we went from one building to another. And this is where the really cool stuff started. So basically the whole building is based on this triangle theme. Everywhere you see triangles. And this is basically an area that connects one building to the other. And you see those lovely round pods that look like they were from Mars or somewhere. People actually sit there and they actually talk there, and it's really, really cool. This is me taking selfies there. Let's see. Let me pull out some stuff where in a controlled way. Okay, so this is the entrance. This is the entrance you see to the offices. That's the first thing you see when you get in. Which is really cool. This is the project manager. He's right over here. There's like a nice staircase, and the ceiling is about like 25 foot tall above the last floor. And this is what you see from the top. So this is the area that I've showed you earlier, the connecting area. And this is where we ate breakfast. Basically, that's where I was filming it from. I took a few selfies here as well. Hey, hi. So that was really cool. And the whole building just based on this super futuristic theme. I felt like I'm on a different planet. Matt was asking me as we were walking by, like, Maria, does that make you like want to go into the corporate type of world? And I was telling him, no, but it makes me want to build my own spaceship. For sure. That was my main conclusion from this space, but it was incredible. And I think my pictures don't really do any justice. I know that a lot of other creators, they had like more fancy equipment. That was a really nice tour. I really enjoyed it. And sorry guys, did I just disappear? Can you confirm in the comments if you can see me? I don't know what happened. Something very, very weird happened. Do you see me, guys? Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for letting me know. Yeah. Perfect. You're back. Awesome. Yeah. Something happened to the stream. I don't know what. I don't know what. The ghost in the machine. That was not planned. But thank you for sticking around and not leaving. Technical issues. Technical issues. And yeah, I'm gonna do a nice blog afterwards. I'm gonna write everything I'm trying to explain right now. Did you test the new Starship? No, I did not test it. But I did a very nice tour, and the breakfast was amazing. The bacon was top notch. I'm a big fan of bacon. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for confirming. Thank you so much. Oh, did you test the new spaceship? I get what the question was about. A blonde moment. Blonde moment. No, then actually the network is pretty fast. Now I have a 3 gigabit we installed with Telus. It's pretty intense, like pretty intense. So it's the fastest that it can get. But I think it was something with StreamYard because it kind of pulled me out of the stream for some reason. I don't know why. Pulled me out of the studio, but yeah. I'm back. Hi. So after I had an exam, and after the exam, I could finally smile and enjoy my time. And this is where the creator's dinner was. Okay. So I was actually staying right by ooh, okay, let me change the screen again. I was staying by the university, the Santa Clara University. That was right in front of me. That's where my hotel was, if you're curious. So I was making my way all the way to the center from there. I was using the bus quite a lot, and yeah, as I was walking to the dinner, which was like in the center, I was finally got a chance to enjoy all the beautiful buildings and all the palm trees. So I took a bunch of photos, took a bunch of videos, just of the atmosphere, just so you can see how San Jose looks like. I pronounce it terribly, right? Everybody says San Jose. I pronounce it San Jose. I don't know why, but it's beautiful, beautiful center area, like incredible. What else? And they have the art gallery where I took a bunch of selfies. You probably seen it. If you follow me on X Twitter, you probably seen this picture. And then let's see, what else do I have here? And then we were at the creators dinner. Now, some of these photos are quite blurry. That's because I took them. And when you take selfies, it's kind of hard to capture everybody. So I was trying to. This is Pete behind. You cannot see very well. Okay, so let's see how I can. Which photo is the best? Okay, so this is me. Hi, this is Igor. This is I can't pronounce. I forget how to pronounce his name. Okay, I'm gonna pull it out. He's an incredible guy. I'm gonna pull it out. I have it in my messages. Bilval. I keep forgetting how to say it. Come on, Maria. What is wrong with me? Incredible. Okay, Bilval. You cannot see him very well. This is Matt. This is Forrest. This is Tina. This is Ken. And I know you know Ken because I know many of you are following him. And this is Matt. And in the back, hold on. We have some other folks there. There you go. This is Peter. This is Mark. This is Bilval again. You can see him a bit better here. And I thought that Matt, and there's another Matt. There are three Matts who were there, at least three, and I cannot see him here, but I'm pretty sure he was sitting with us too. Maybe he was hiding. But yeah, was our table, the party table. We actually got to discuss like some incredible stuff there. One of the questions was, will AI replace us creators? Another question was, will you, this is something that Igor came up with. He was asking, if you had a spouse who is an AI model, would you be okay with it? And the answer was, what if it was indistinguishable? And we kind of started a very, very nice conversation around it. I'm not going to share my thoughts on the topic just yet, but if I invite Igor to one of my live streams, we'll definitely talk about it because it's a very interesting question to ask. But yeah, and Mark, this is Mark. He's working with most of us creators in NVIDIA. So hi, Mark. Great to see you. Thank you for inviting me. Very, very happy to be here. And again, it wasn't like planned for me to go there. I was supposed to stay in Canada, but kind of a last minute, we were talking about it and I was like, okay, you know what? I have to go. Everybody's going to be there and I'm going to feel so weird sitting home and watching it. And, I'll be so grumpy that everybody else gets to cover the event, just not me. So I said, you know what, let's do it. I was late to find a hotel room like in the center. I was like coming very late. That's why I was very, very far. But yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, so this is Sir Wade, by the way. Sir Wade, he's covering motion graphics. He's covering film studios type of animations, 3D animations. So he was very, very nice. And I didn't get a chance to sit with him in the creators dinner, but we talked a lot in a tour. And this is Forrest. They had the same name. So I feel like I introduced them to the selfie together. So It was really fun. And after we kind of went for a bunch of drinks, and this is the mat that I was talking about. This is the third mat. We went to sit down like in a reception area after the dinner ended. We kept talking about artificial intelligence. We kept talking about also about what works for our channels. We were kind of exchanging ideas, so it was really really fun. Uh, Again, this is the most fun dinner I had in the past couple years, I would say. Like, it was really really cool to finally meet people who have, I would say, similar fields of interest, because my friends, most of them are not interested in AI. It's like every time I start talking about it, it's like, oh, Maria, you and your silly AI stuff. Everybody is like is in a completely different mindset. So here I'm sitting with people who are actually engaged in that, and not only they are passionate about AI, they are also passionate about content creation. They're also YouTubers. Okay, so this is us YouTubers sitting down having fun. This is orange juice, of course, and this is lemon juice, right? Right. And yeah, and this is already the next day. So the next day was pretty much my last day at the conference. I was walking towards the center. I took a bus. So usually, how it went in the mornings, I was trying to take a bus, unless I had to be somewhere very early and I didn't want to, for 40 minutes kind of wait for buses. But this day I took a bus and I took a nice walk to the center, and I got to experience more of the areas around San Jose. And yeah, that's the tour. That's the palm trees. I think one of the coolest things to see there, and something I don't see in Canada almost at all, is palm trees. Um, yeah, this is me taking 1,000 selfies. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Because you know what? Not all the selfies are good selfies. So I try to take a few. And this is the walk around those offices. So this is Adobe once again. I use Adobe since I'm 12. For to create my videos, I use Adobe Premiere. I use Illustrator. So it was really cool to see their head office. Zoom head office was also there. And again, this is when you're nearing the center, you start seeing a completely different city, a much nicer city than the rest of San Jose. At least where I was, at least the area around the airport, the area around the university is not as fancy at all. And here, when you get to the center, it's wow. Like, it's very hard not to be in awe. um Everything looks super clean, everything looks like top notch. So it was really fun walking there. And this is again a bunch of robots dancing uh, their little dance, completely synchronized. It's really really cool. So this is the center itself. This is the conference center. As you can see, a lot of people, but it's so big, so big, that there's people just everywhere. Okay, there's enough space for everyone, but it's a huge place. I don't know if I've ever been in such a big conference. Let's see, what else do I have here. Okay, and then I went into the expo, and because the light settings were not like very were not the best, I was taking a lot of footage with the camera that I'm using right now for the stream. So I didn't have a chance to copy all the files from there, but I took a lot of footage from the expo center, and this is where I met a whole bunch of folks. Some of them were trying to sell me things. Most of them were trying to sell me things. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of goodies. One of them is from Volter. I was talking about them earlier, the cloud infrastructure. This is their mascot. Hi, so cute. So it's nice. I didn't get to meet Jamie, who I'm kind of working with on this video, but I got to meet his colleagues, which was really really cool. Hi. If you guys are watching it, it was really really nice. Thank you. And yeah, and then in the evening, like, right, I had a data science reception. Was it data science reception at the fancy hotel Hilton at 7 o'clock in the evening? And we thought that maybe we can like go and see some sightseeing before. So I met with my creator friends. We sat down a little bit longer. Hold on, let me pull out some of the cool things we've seen, because we went to a museum of computers. Okay. And I usually don't like museums. I'm usually not a big fan of museums, but the guys wanted to go. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll explore the culture. I'll explore, I'll see what's going on. And then I've seen this. Now, I don't know if you guys recognize it, but this is the NVIAC, one of the first computers in the world. And I forever have the image of Matt, Igor, and Matt embedded on it. The reflection is here. I was so excited about the NVIAC because I didn't know that it was there. I had no idea that I'm gonna see it there. I was shocked and I was very, very excited. At this point, I was going, guys, come see. Oh my God. Yeah, there was all kinds of computers, but the footage doesn't look good. But this is me with the NVIAC. I had to do it. I had to do it. Also, we've seen one of the versions of Deep Blue. Now, I'm not going to show you all the computers I took footage of because there's a lot. There's quite a bunch, but this is Deep Blue, at least one of their iterations. And if you guys are not familiar with Deep Blue, this is the model that won Garry Kasparov in Checkmate. So it's pretty intense. Okay, selfie there too. Okay, this is a better selfie. That was really, really nice. And yeah. Also, hold on. No, hold on. Okay, if I do this and I do that, there you go. They had a very nice mural. Come on. Hey, you were just playing, man. What's up? Okay, let's do it again. Hold on. Let's do this. Technical problems. Ha. Okay, there's a very nice mural. It wouldn't show me the nice footage of the mural. I had 2 footages of this mural, and one of them doesn't show, but it's okay. It's okay. So if I do this and I do that, start playing. It's a work in progress. It is a work in progress. Creator's life is very, very difficult. Okay, so there's a mural with all the programming languages that have emerged. Now, the first time I took it, I was trying to work very still, very still. This is Matt and over there, and it didn't work. And the second time I was there, please work, please. I actually focused on Python, and it doesn't work. Yikes. Okay. Let's do it again. Let's do it from the other side. Okay, let's attempt. The outer picture. And oh, there you go. You're gonna see where Python is related to these programming languages. It's incredible. Okay. And there's Python. Yay! Woo! Okay. Awesome. That was very, very necessary. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Now, the last selfie I took was with Ken because I did not have a chance to take a proper selfie with him earlier, and this was after the data science reception. It's not my best picture, okay, but I had to show it to you because you guys really, really like Ken. I know it because I see what you guys are watching. I see in the recommendations. Yeah, but that was a very fancy event. Very, very fancy, not just because it was in the Hilton, but because there was a lot of researchers and scientists and a lot of folks from the NVIDIA team. It wasn't like a creators oriented type of dinner. It was mostly a data science oriented type of networking event. It was pretty cool, but I didn't know too many people, and there was 30, 50 of us, something like that. There was a nice talk that Ken was hosting at the beginning. We're talking about some ideas, how to solve some problems. It was really, really cool. And then everybody started talking to each other and kind of getting introduced. And I got to meet some of the really, really cool engineers in NVIDIA. I got to meet Nick. I got to meet Jay. I got to spend some more time with Jamil because on the first day we were like going from the conference center to the SAP center, and we had some really, really fun conversations. And yeah, and I kind of the only people I really really knew there was like Ken and Jamil, so I found them and I was kind of near them. I didn't go anywhere else because when you're in a setting when there's so many people that you don't know, um, you need to approach people and you need to introduce yourself, and I guess this muscle in my head, I used to be good at it, but this is something that you need to kind of practice on. And at this point I was so shy, so I was kind of with them, but it was great because we were talking about some incredible research opportunities in the realm of sport. And I do like sport. I know I'm not a I know I'm a girl, but some of us will really enjoy these type of conversations. It was really really fun. And yeah, um, that was pretty much my event. And then the next day was the commute back to Vancouver, which was awful. It was awful on so many levels. My flight got delayed, so as a result I missed my bus to Vancouver. And yes, I took a bus. Can you believe it? There is a bus from Vancouver to Seattle, and from Seattle I took a flight to San Jose. Um, I was not supposed to take a bus earlier. I was supposed to go with my car, but I changed my oil a few days before the trip, and the guys in the garage said like, "Oh, there's no way you're going to like anywhere with those tires. You gotta, you're not gonna make it." And I don't want to get stuck with a without tires in the States, not in Canada. So I didn't drive, and I'm a car type of person. I like to be independent. I don't take buses very often, but the bus was like very very fast compares to the train. There's a train that takes 2 hours longer than the bus. Go figure. From Vancouver to Seattle. So yeah, the flight got delayed. There was barely any room on the flight. So I was supposed to read Matt's book, Effective Pandas 2, but I couldn't even pull out my backpack and pull up the book from there because the plane was tiny, like very very tiny. And then because I missed my bus, I had to figure out alternative options of how to go back to Vancouver. So I ended up on a train. um, and the train is a bit more, I would say, convenient than the bus, but it takes longer. So as long as it's going in the States, it's pretty fast, and it's going by the ocean, so the views are amazing, right? But once once it hits Canada, the train starts going like 30 kilometers an hour. So slow. So basically, to get from the border with Canada to the train station in Vancouver, it took us way longer than it would take me to drive from Vancouver to Seattle with a car. Way longer. It was insane, but at least it was a very entertaining trip, that's for sure. I sat down in front of an engineer from Amazon, so we had a lot in common. We were talking all the trip for like 4 and something hours. I would say almost like 5. We were like talking about the nerdiest things in the world. And the gentleman was sitting next to us. He approached me, and he was telling me, "You guys must be from the same trade." Like, yeah, we are. I think his name was Nick. I can't remember, but yeah, really, really, really fun. It was a really nice, incredible trip. The commute on the way back was pretty bad, but again, I arrived to Vancouver at around like 12 at night, 12-ish. We went all the way to Mission. Like, I live in Fraser Valley, but I live in a city called Mission. And super hungry. Luckily, there was like a 24 hours open diner, so we kind of went there and we ate eggs Benedict like 2 o'clock in the morning, which was insane. But that's it. And the next day, I was like drained. Yesterday I was like drained out of energy. It was a very worrisome commute because there was a chance that I'll be staying in Seattle. And I did not want to stay in Seattle. I'm sorry if you guys are from Seattle. I do not want to stay there for the night. It used to be like Vancouver. I remember I was there, many, many years ago. I would say like 5 years ago. It was really, it had Vancouver vibes. Um, but it did not have Vancouver vibes when I arrived there this time. So yeah. Whew. And yeah, I'm just wondering if you guys have any questions. That's the best time to start posting them in the comments. I know that you guys asked them throughout the blog as well, but I couldn't I couldn't concentrate enough to pull them out at the right time. So yeah, whew, that was definitely an adventure for sure. It's time for some coffee. But yeah, if you have any questions, please list them below. For sure. Did you have to pay for the trip? So yes, some of the trip I did pay for it. Some of it I did not pay for it because I am working with NVIDIA. I'm a content creator, so I do have a few kind of incentives, to arrive. But there wasn't any like if you were coming, you have to do this and you have to do that. For me, it was kind of a free type of uh, free student experience. That's how I call it. I don't know if it's an expression in English, but back where I'm coming from, student hofshi, this is how we call it. A free student, you come and you kind of do your thing, and we did not really define what the thing is all about. So for me, I had a very hybrid hybrid type of a trip. But some creators, they got to stay in the fancy hotels. They got the whole like VIP type of package. I didn't. I was not in this category. But to be fair, I kind of joined pretty late to the party, so kind of made sense. And because of the exam, I wasn't able to attend a lot of the things that I wanted to attend. Thank you, University of London, again for your nastiness. Thank you. I'm gonna review them. I'm gonna review them as soon as I'm getting my degree. Holy smokes! I'm gonna tell you everything that I did not tell you all this time. Um, and I have a lot of things to say. Some of it is good. You'd be surprised. Some of it is good, and it's good in terms of some of the lecturers that are there. That's for sure. Like you can tell that some of them have absolute passion to the profession, and they've been teaching it for years, and they, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But a lot of the other things surrounding the content are not good. And now I'm going to tell you all about it. Holy smokes! I'm going to tell you. I'm going to cover it very thoroughly. Yeah. I just get a hotel for a couple of days. Yeah, I also like I got a hotel like on my own. I figured out where I want to go. I figure out where I want to stay. Next time I will not stay there. Obviously, like I'm gonna stay in the center. I'm gonna book a hotel and I'm gonna book it on time, ahead of the event. Even if I have some, prior obligations or whatever, I'll probably I'll probably delay them because they will not be school related because I'm almost done with my school. Um, yeah. But yeah, I stayed in a hotel. I came a day earlier. I stayed there the night before the conference, so I didn't like come straight to the conference. I had some wiggle room, but I'm way more spoiled than I thought I would be, because back in my you know about a decade ago, I wasn't as picky about where I'm staying, how clean it is, like how the amenities are and stuff like that. Now I am. I'm very picky. And it was very hard for me to fall asleep in a place where I know that it wasn't the cleanest in the world. And I'm very OCD when it comes to cleaning. So it was kind of the hardest experience for me. And also being far away from the center. I didn't realize how big of a disadvantage it is because um, just the commute there. Yeah, it takes you about 15 minutes. It's not too bad if you take an Uber, if you don't take a bus. But everybody else gets to meet for like a cocktail dinner, or like they get to have breakfast together and lunch together and things like that, and you kind of miss it out when you're located far away, and you don't want to go back at like 12 o'clock at night in some Uber with a stranger. So you're limited from many perspectives. That was my conclusion from the event. So next time I'm gonna I'm gonna book something in the center well in advance. So what's the most important thing you liked about the GTC 2024? Talk about software and game development. I think the fact that I learned a few conclusions about what the future will bring. And these are kind of my personal conclusions, my personal observations. Because one of the biggest revelations of the keynote, Jensen was talking about the Blackwell platform, which is not exactly a chip, because usually they come up with new chips, new physical hardware that you can install on your computer, and they announce it in those keynotes. This time, it was more of a platform than a chip because it requires a giant room, and you could actually walk around it and you could see it in the expo. It's giant, it's huge, it has so much computing power that is exponentially more than any other infrastructure. It requires lots of GPUs connected together with a new NVLink connection. Um, so I used to have the older generation of NVLink connections. I used to have two 2080 supers, GPUs, RTX. RTX 2080 Super. That was their name, and they were connected with an NVLink connection. And while it was pretty good for machine learning, that was in my Alienware build. They were really good for machine learning. They were not as good for gaming. They were not as good for content creation either, I found. So the limitations of the NVLink, they did not. Sorry about my Polish. I didn't. I didn't have a chance to change it, but it wasn't optimized for that. So now they figured out how to really make it fast and efficient and well, which is something that I think I won't have an opportunity to try in the nearest future. Hopefully, one day I will. But now I switched those 2080s. I got a 4070 that kind of fits because that's the only GPU that fit. It had two fans. So if you have an Alienware from the older series, not the big cases, when you have like limitations in terms of case, I think there's one GPU that will be suitable for you. And that's if you're looking for NVIDIA stuff or like the bigger type of gaming stuff. I'm not familiar with AMD GPUs. I haven't had a chance to use them yet, but usually the newer series require more space, which is something you don't have in a rounded case, rounded tiny case that is only half a tower. It's not a full tower. So, so yeah, it's my thoughts. I kind of shared them in a community. I don't know if I can access the community. Let's see. I may have an access to the community stuff. Hold on. I want to pull it out because I have all my thoughts there. It was very fresh when I wrote them. So go to community tab. There you go. Okay, community. And and you cannot see it, of course. Of course you can't see it. I'm not used to this type of thing. So in the community, by the way, this is what I show to the members. This is my my lovely office, my new office. My spouse surprised me. He got a really nice table. He set it up really nicely. I'm going to add another screen right above. It's going to be a curved screen. It's going to be smaller, about 32-inch. These are my thoughts on it. And I'm going to add some more RGBs. And I'm going to, of course, hide all those cables and remove all this flying equipment that my spouse is using, but I don't use. It's a Warhog replica of a plane. My spouse is so we got Quest 3. It's like the VR headset, and he's like inside the plane literally because all the equipment is like actual replicas of the plane. I don't know if you're familiar with a Warhog, and he's doing like dog fights. He's not using the flight simulator. He's using the DCS world. I don't think you can see it here because my name is covering it, but never mind. It's right behind Maria Shah, right? DCS world. He's actually doing the dogfights, and he learned the manuals, the actual manuals of the plane, which was insane. So yeah, that's how my new office looks like. It's gonna look better. Hold on. So this is the community note post where I shared my thoughts, where the future is kind of going, and what I meant. Okay, here's something that I meant about in the future, cloud computing will supersede physical computing. Okay, I want to explain what I meant. Of course, you need a physical computer to be engaged in cloud computing. Okay, of course you need one, but the type of infrastructure that is required that is the top of the line, basically, for running LLMs and these type of stuff, you cannot install it in your house. It's giant. Okay, it's big, and it's not only the infrastructure, it's not only the hardware, but it is also all the services, the microservices that it includes. So I think that when people want to do professional machine learning work, artificial intelligence work, the limitation of the physical hardware that we have right now, no matter how fancy your computer is, my computer is arguably very, very fancy, but I don't think any of us will install a Blackwell, giant infrastructure inside our houses. So we will need to be able to access it remotely. And that's why I'm what I meant about cloud computing. So my apologies if I didn't explain myself well enough, but we will basically delegate tasks from our computer to some computer far, far away that will process everything very, very fast. And we will use it not only for training, we will also use it for inference, which is the process where you create a prediction. This is my conclusion from the event. Another conclusion was, and this is something I also need to explain because some of you guys asked me about it. So OpenCL is no longer an alternative to CUDA. What I meant, okay, is not that it's not doing the same thing. It is doing pretty much. It has the same purpose. So basically, you are accelerating the speed of your programs by utilizing your GPU. Now, OpenCL, you can use it with Intel GPUs, you can use it with AMD GPUs, you can use it with NVIDIA GPUs, you can use it with all kinds of GPUs. But the question is, how well integrated is this infrastructure? Okay, how many libraries you can use it with? It's not even about speed, like how fast it is. It's about how is it compatible with many other things, like what is the magnitude, right? So this is what I meant. There is a very long way for something like OpenCL to catch up with CUDA, because right now, at least from what I've heard in the keynote, and I'm sure some of you have watched it too, and some of you have realized that, but most of the keynote, I know he was talking about all kinds of industries and all kinds of innovations and technology, but all of it is powered by GPUs, and all of it is powered by CUDA GPUs. So all these things you've seen in the keynote just translated to the fact that it's all being used by GPUs. So Siemens, for example, this giant enterprise, this giant company is utilizing it too. Who else was there? Like Build Your Dream, like the car manufacturer based in China. You know, it was basically the same thing, right? So Nissan was there too in terms of cars. So all of these giant infrastructures, they are all powered by CUDA. So when you understand the magnitude of it, you look at OpenCL and you're like, poor guy, you know, he kind of stayed behind, you know. So that was my thought. That's what I meant. Okay, translation. I replied to one of the comments, but yeah, explanation. Can you tell more about the discussions you had with creators at dinner? I don't know. I don't know. Top secret, you guys. Top secret. So I think that the best part was kind of discussing where this whole idea of AI is going. Not just in terms of like us creators, but in terms of where the future is bringing us. Like that was really, really fun. Also, we kind of shared like what is our favorite like monitors, what is the favorite type of equipment we use. It was also very important. Or what works for us, what kind of distribution of audience do we have, like how many female, how many male, you know. We were kind of exchanging these type of stuff. What else were we talking about? And generally, you know, kind of about ourselves, because we rarely get to talk about ourselves in our streams and our videos. Maybe other content creators do, but we generally try to kind of be ambiguous when it comes to our personal life and our personal journey and stuff. And when you sit with a person, you know, you're not streaming it to millions of strangers or whoever is watching. You know, they actually have millions. You know, not me. You know, when you talk about these things, you kind of get to share your personal life, which is something that I don't get to do on a channel very often. I try to do it. I do it more in the members type of section. I share some stuff about myself, maybe. But you know, it's hard for me to talk to, you know, hundreds of thousands of people about what I do, because I don't know if you're even interested, to be honest. I don't know if my life is that interesting. So you get to share your experience. When did you start? What drives you? What kind of motivations you have? So that was definitely part of our conversation, and just nerding together. You know, we have very similar interests in computing. So it's fun, always fun to be like with like-minded individuals. But I'm not going to talk about specifics of conversations, obviously. You know, they can share it on their channels if they want, and I'll invite them here. Like, and I'll invite the folks that I meant. You'll see them. You'll get to ask them questions too. I'm surprised that just one person approached you on the conference with 200K subscribers. I would expect that you get upset with popularity. Not so. There's the thing. I think that in certain circles you are popular, but once you are outside of these circles, nobody knows who you are. And it is surprising because the circle where I was in a conference, it was the circle where I'm like relatively popular, I would say. But I'll be honest with you, I did see like I have good observational skills and I'm very alert, especially if I'm alone somewhere abroad, far away from my spouse and I need to kind of take care of myself. I'm very alert, and I did notice that people recognize me. But I think in our community we are very, very shy. Immediately they would just kind of turn away. That's why I'm emphasizing how cool it was to kind of meet Chris. I'm very happy, Chris, if you're watching it. Thank you so much for like at least one person recognized me, which is incredible. And it's funny because the rest of the content creators, same thing. Okay, one person, two people, that's pretty much the record. So I think maybe in our specific community, people are very mindful of your personal space, or maybe they're just like what are we going to talk about? So well, I'll introduce myself. What she's going to tell me back, So I specifically came to meet you guys. So one of the things that we kind of talked about with the team from NVIDIA is maybe arranging like in the next conference, maybe we can do like a meet and greet, like something is that a designated type of event where people can just come and meet us, kind of sit down with us, exchange ideas. For Matt, I think because he Matt Harrison. Okay, there's three Matts that I met there. He has this book that he wanted to. Maybe he could have done like a book signing and stuff like that. So there's all kinds of ideas that we could have done, but because it's the first year they're doing it, because for the past 5 years it was a online event. That was kind of almost a new experience, I would say. Top notch. I have zero complaints. It was really, really fun. But maybe next year it's going to be a bit more organized, where you guys will actually be able to attend, a an organized type of a meet and greet, and not just see me, but like also the rest of the creators. And we already know each other, so it will be much, much fun, much more fun, much fun. I'm like the Doge meme. I just sold all my NVIDIA stock. Did I make a mistake? I'm not good with stocks, but I'm assuming it will just keep climbing, based on the keynote, basically solely based on the keynote. Like, I don't know where the world economic situation is going. Things are different everywhere. Things are changing everywhere. It's hard to predict what will be in the future. Even if you have a very nice simulator, it's going to be very hard, because I think a lot of the things that we imagine that will never, ever, ever happen are suddenly happening in front of our eyes. And we're not sure. So in terms of monetary advice, I cannot give you monetary advice whatsoever. But yeah, I do not have any NVIDIA stocks. And generally, when you kind of buy a stock when it's pretty high, it's probably not the best point to go in. But that's just something that my financial advisor friends were telling me. It's not a financial advice that I give to anyone else, because I don't invest. I have Doge. I have some Doge because I believe in the Doge. Much wow. But yeah, I was too late to join all the Bitcoin hype. When I kind of joined the crypto space, Bitcoin was already pretty expensive. And with Doge, I think I'm pretty much breaking even at this point, even when it's kind of climbed, because I got in a bit too late. But yeah, and I don't have it in an exchange. I'm not. What happened to the camera? Ooh, hi, better. I don't have it stored in an exchange. I have it stored in a ledger device. So I have a physical copy, which is how crypto should work. Okay, so if you are putting all your crypto in a physical exchange, you're kind of defeating the purpose of the blockchain, or the whole idea of not having a centralized type of figure of authority to give you like a authorization for transactions. So yeah, I highly recommend getting like a physical wallet. It's a bit of a learning curve to set it up, but the microphone doesn't want you to know. Oh, and we have a comment from Twitch. We have a comment from Twitch from Big Mike. Wow. Cool. Hi. Great to see you. You're probably not a bot. I hope so. I don't know. I can't recognize who's in this picture. Hmm. I don't know who's in this picture, but you're probably not a salesman bot. So great. I'm gonna um I'm gonna go to the very bottom of the comments. Oh, Matt is here. You guys, this is Matt. Thank you so much. Absolutely, I'll share the book. Absolutely. I've never received a book from the author who wrote it. So it's like, it's very, very exciting. So thank you so much for joining the stream, Matt. Definitely follow Matt on LinkedIn. Check out his LinkedIn right now. I think, can you see it? I guess if you're on LinkedIn, you can click on it directly. But if you're on YouTube, you're going to have to go to LinkedIn and look for Matt. Definitely check him out. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to Python. Like all the best Python advices you can get, you probably get from him. He's not on YouTube yet, but hopefully we convinced him to join. Thank you so much for joining. Let's see. It's all about Python science data. Yeah, data science, Richard. Switch it. Switching around. Um, okay, OpenCL is only 123 functions. Is it? Did you count? That explains why it's a bit behind. Big tech is promising since 1995. Uh, Nick Miller, she's a PBD fan. Cool. Yeah, well, I like financial stuff. Like I do follow it. I do understand. Like some people are in the financial world and they have so many things to say that are beyond the understanding of folks like myself. I'm not from this field. I do have friends who are accountants and they have financial advisor firms. You know, Shanir, if you're watching it, hi. They're very, very experts in their field. But for somebody who doesn't have the professional lingo, I find that it's important to follow folks who actually understand where the world is going, where the economy is going. Because I don't know much about it, so I do follow some financial channels, and PBD is one of them. He's a really, really nice guy. Like I like the way he talks. Like he has a very, very nice tone, and I enjoy watching him. I think the last thing I watched was the oh, holy smokes, I forgot the name. He was on CNN for a very, very long time. I watched him. I forgot. Chris Cuomo. I think that was the last thing I watched. The last episode was very, very interesting because I didn't get to see Chris Cuomo like speak like in the real world settings. I don't really watch the news, right? So I got a kind of a perspective on who's the person is. It was very, very interesting. Also, I forgot her name. She's also like a journalist, like really, 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 really nice just to hear their conversation and their debate because they were kind of debating like whose ideas are better. So I enjoy where kind of people with opposite opinions have this space where they can talk to one another in a civilized manner. I enjoy it a lot. I love it. Opposites kind of, I think, kind of hearing the opposite opinion opens you up to new ideas. And if you're stuck in the same, you know, if you're stuck in a company where you have the exact same opinions and when you're like liking the same things, it's very, very hard to escape it. So yeah, I enjoy this type of stuff. A10 Warhog. Yeah, that's right. Is it Warthog or is it Warhog? English speaking people, please let me know. AMD ROCm didn't work on WS2. So it's probably a GPU by AMD, eh? I'm not familiar with their series. I never tried an AMD graphics card, but I know that a lot of people are using it for gaming. I know gaming they have like they have a very good infrastructure for that. I do game a lot, but because I'm also engaged in machine learning and AI, I think for me, and I'm very used to CUDA. It's something that I've been using since 2018. Before I even knew what CUDA is all about, I've been using CUDA. Before I understood what it really means. So for me, it's just what is comfortable to me. Plus, I'm using Premiere and Adobe products, which use CUDA for accelerating their own type of processes. So I'm kind of I've always been like in this camp. So I'm not exactly sure what to say about AMD stuff, so don't ask me. I have no experience with that. Let's see. How about Jensen's advice on learning prompt engineering instead? And it seems we are going back to the supercomputer not accessible for everybody, at least for now. So the question is, what are you doing with this computer? Because if you're the people who are engaged in those like in training those very very complex LLMs, they'll probably be the ones using Blackwell, right? We will probably not need it for our needs, right? Because right now we can use the A100. We can use many different alternatives that are working really really well to train LLMs. Actually, I'm going to show you how to do so in my the next tutorial. I'm giving you an introduction to cloud computing. We will talk about private keys. We will talk about you know secure shells, these type of stuff. We will learn how to send commands from our physical computer to a remote computer. We will talk all about it. And then the video after that, we will actually utilize this knowledge to train, to fine tune a large language model, which is insane. My computer cannot load this large language model, no matter how much I try. So basically, it's something we can do on the cloud. And you don't really need a supercomputer for that. You can still do it on a regular computer, right? But the A100, for example, like with 80 gigs of RAM, it's also an NVIDIA GPU, but it's not for consumers. It's mostly for enterprises. This GPU cost $10,000. That's why it's almost better to rent it, unless you're super rich and you're like a fancy scientist. So I'm going to show you how to connect to an A100 and kind of use it, a fraction of an A100, but that's what I'll show you in a future tutorial. So you don't really need. It's not a Blackwell is not necessary for your needs, right? But if you are a company that is if you are a big enterprise, if you have lots of customers who are using your LLM, right? They need access to it and they need it fast because we are impatient. We need everything to load as fast as possible. So if that's your case, yeah, you'll probably need a stronger infrastructure, and then you'll probably need the NIM services and all those stuff that Jensen basically covered. So it is still for everyone, but the chances of you needing access to Blackwell are very very slim at this point, unless you run a company, unless you're like Elon Musk. You need your all your Tesla, what do you call them, Optimus, you need them trained on this, right? So basically, if you're a robotics company and you need to use reinforcement learning to kind of to basically train all your models how to walk, your physical models, I guess, like how to move around, a 3D space. You'll probably need something like that. You'll need a lot of computing power, especially if you're training a lot of robots all at once. It depends on your needs. So I don't think it's for a personal use as much as it's for a commercial use. But you do have access to it if you want. I think ai.nvidia.com. I think it's going to lead you to. Let's check. Let's see. Hold on. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. ai.nvidia.com. Yeah. Is it? Yes. Okay. So, hold on. You cannot see it. Yeah, as usual. Sorry. Streamer deck coming soon. So I think if you navigate here, you can actually have access to all of this. Yeah. The question is if you need. Okay. The question is how much it will cost you. That's most of the questions that we have. Let's see. I'm gonna go to the latest comments because there's been quite some time. There's been quite some time since I went there. You met Matt Vid Pro? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I follow him for AI content creation and all the latest news. He's amazing. I agree. I agree. I think it was one of the coolest things to kind of meet the guys. And it's funny because they're talking about mostly non-coding related type of AI stuff. So covering AI news, these type of things. Let's bigger. So the text doesn't cover me. And it's funny because we kind of got along the most, right? We ended up like taking this tour in a museum, and we ended up like staying a bit longer than the dinner. And it's funny how it's funny how, I don't have as much knowledge when it comes to like the news of AI, and they have all of it. What I know is the algorithms, right? I'm very, very involved with the algorithms. I know like the scientific papers, I know all this like technical stuff and all the mathematical stuff, and I try not to talk about them. I try not to use technical language when I talk about them. But it's funny that it's kind of, we're the opposite in this industry, and we got along really, really well. It was incredible. So I'm very, very happy for meeting Matt Vid Pro and Matt, I think Matt Wolf, as well as Matt Harrison, who was just here in the comments writing the book. It was really, really cool. So three Matts, and Igor is also here. I'm gonna pull out all their channels. I'm going to include it in the blog post because I haven't had a chance yet to follow everyone. Bilval is also amazing. I need to know how to pronounce it. I always get confused. It's not fair. And Bilval is probably coming to Vancouver in about a month, so I'm going to see him once again. Maybe I can interview him. Maybe we can do like a nice thing in person. I didn't notify him that I'm planning to do it yet, so we might do it. Cool. It will be really, really cool. He's also covering artificial intelligence stuff. Yeah, let's see what else is here. I'm trying to develop EMO model humanoid tiny robot. Oh wow. I have some sort of programs. I need some help to integrate it together to the hardware. Please let me know if anyone is willing to help me. Thanks, guys. Do you have any knowledge in robotics, software, these type of stuff? Please reach out to Harkishnam KB. What is the best way to reach out to you? Don't send any like private information to the folks. I'm gonna pull it out on the screen so they can reach out to you. I'm gonna recommend you to have a look in one of the live streams that I had recently. I'm gonna pull it out. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it out. It was by, hold on. There you go. The robotics stream by lovely Kevin. And of course you cannot see it because again, I switched. Okay. So robot stream, it's right above. I was talking to Kevin McAleer, who is an expert in robotics. He knows all about it, and he was recommending all kinds of stuff in this stream. I think there is a lot of valuable information there, so definitely check it out. But if you send your contact information, people will definitely reach out to you. We have a lot of robotic enthusiasts in the crowd, that's for sure. I can guarantee you that. Okay, let's see. I'm fine tuning the Google Gamma. Okay. On my, hold on. I'm fine tuning the Google Gamma model on my computer for a specific destination with only 128 gigabytes of RAM. Very nice. Very nice. Hold on. So it doesn't cover me. Good job. Do you have any tips for folks who are going to do it as well? Please share them. Please let us know. I'm going to follow up on this one. What do you think about Apple using Google's Gemini AI in their products in the future? It's interesting because I think they're going to have to retrain it. It's interesting that Apple is going to use it because I think there are some design flaws in the data set that they need to fix. And I don't know how can a model untrain or unlearn some stuff. I think it's a very big challenge. I don't know what they'll do about it because I don't think it's production ready. I think that it either failed in the testing stage or somebody tried to do some shenanigans, right? Because I don't think they worked on it to perfection, right? I think they should have waited with the release, but again, like it's these type of topics. They kind of get involved. They kind of slip to the to the political realm, to things that are mostly ideological. So I try not to talk about it on the channel. I know that a lot of you guys will start fighting in the comments if we get there. So I want you guys to be friends. This is where we come together, not where we fall apart. But there are some design flaws in the data, and the model itself is based on the data. So I don't know how they're going to solve it. So good luck to Apple. Definitely good luck. They'll need it. Is self-taught programming achievable, as I did not study computer science in an academic way? I think that it is best achievable in a non-academic way, because the thing about academia is they don't teach you the things that are relevant right now. They teach you things that 20 years ago they were relevant, and they kind of still type of relevant, but they don't cover the current market needs. I'll give you an example. I'm studying artificial intelligence, machine learning specialization. My next semester is my last one. And the only thing I have in this semester is my final project. I don't have anything else. I haven't heard the word CUDA mentioned even once in this entire degree. And I challenge you to find me a data scientist or somebody who is actually professionally engaged in AI and machine learning, who will not, include it in your learning stack. They didn't even show how to use any type of GPU processing, which is insane. How do you call it an AI machine learning module if you are not delegating tasks to the GPU? It's what are you talking about? Okay, we did not learn anything about large language models. We barely scratched the surface of LSTMs, long short-term memory models. We barely talked about anything that I'm covering on a channel, like religiously almost. But I'm just surprised. The things, so just to give you an example, the things I learn through your requests for videos, I learn them way better than I learn in the university. So yeah, some of the core, some of the basics of software development, you will learn in a university, okay, or in some kind of an official certification program. You will. But a lot of the things you learn are irrelevant. And I would argue that most of the things you learn are absolutely irrelevant. And it's not like my program is brand, like it was filmed 20 years ago, right? It's a program that was filmed in 2020, 2022, in the recent years. And yet they do not cover the things that the market requires. Another example, most of my courses were all revolving around P5.js. Have you heard of P5.js before, other than the times that I talked about it? Why don't you use React? Why don't you use Node? It's also JavaScript, but why are you using things that that are not usable to you if you want to find a job somewhere? So you finish this project for university, you get a grade on it. Sometimes the grade is amazing. You upload it to your GitHub, and then it's part of your portfolio. So what can an employer say? What is the conclusion of an employer who sees that all your work is in P5.js? It's like, well, this person may not be suitable for my company, right? Because they don't know the infrastructure that we actually use. It's silly. It's very, very silly, but this is what you get in academia. And maybe it's just my university, but I have a feeling all of them are like that. So what is important I will highlight the courses that actually help me. There are some courses that are out of this world. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about them, of course, but I think most of it you can learn on your own. The question is, when you are looking to find a job, is there a priority to people who have a computer science degree? And another question is, if you say you have this degree without having this degree, will they actually check? Because I have friends who don't have degrees and they found a nice job by saying they have a degree. I'm not saying it works for everyone, but I do know people who were able to kind of infiltrate the market through shady type of means. But yeah, it's not necessary. And I think as time goes by and as coding becomes more and more delegated to AI models, it's going to become harder and harder to kind of stand out. But I think there still exist employers who will hire you for the content of your, creation rather than the content of your academic credentials, hopefully. What do you think of NVIDIA Omniverse? I haven't had a chance to play around with it, so I usually like to talk about things that I know. But once I play around with it, I'll definitely let you know. Yeah, it will happen. Let's see. Richard. What is Richard saying? What kind of robot are you making? Oh, he's talking to one of the other viewers, probably. I'm not making any robots, if you're asking me. I don't know the engineering side of things. It's mostly my spouse is dealing with it, not me. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what else. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the comments. Hello, hello, hello. All the long hellos. Um, did you get to see the Disney robots in person? Yeah, yeah. Well, you couldn't like interact with them, but you've seen them on stage. They actually were there. It's not like a graphics that they inserted or whatever. They were actually there. And to me, it was funny that it seemed that okay, Orange, it was kind of really going through the instructions that Jensen was giving him. Like, okay, come here, do this, do that, right? Um, but Green, he almost had a will of his own. So either he had some kind of a bug that prevented him from kind of walking, but it seemed that he started walking, and then when Jansen told him, stop fooling around or something, he heard the stop and he stopped. Like that's what it seemed to me from where I was sitting. Um, I think the fact that they're responding to not just sound but also gestures of like come here, it was incredible. I think it's the first time that I see robots who actually react to human life, like to human interactions. It's kind of scary because we're going to a reality where this will be the norm. We're not there yet. They still need to train a lot, and I assume that if they were like ready and if they were good to go, we would be able to interact with them in the conference and kind of test them. But I don't think they're ready. I think they were kind of just previewing them, and kind of giving people a sneak peek into this lovely creation. So I, I think it was one of the coolest parts. Another cool part was Jensen saying that everything started from an image of a cat. AlexNet. If you know the state of the art neural network called AlexNet, basically it's an image classification neural network where you kind of feed it images. We've done something on a channel together. We didn't use AlexNet. We made our own neural network, but based on the same principle, you can pretty much you can load AlexNet as well. And I'm gonna pull out this. This TypePy tutorial that where I covered how to make classification models. There you go. It's this guy. Technical stuff. Dealing with some stuff here. You get to see all the creative process live, okay? So in this video, I show you how to make an image classifying neural network, a machine learning GUI app, and also like how to wrap it in a GUI application. I provide you the Jupyter notebook that explains you all of it. So apparently everything started with an image of a cat. Okay, this is where everything is started from. Okay, this is the ancestors of ChatGPT. This is the first thing that AI was able to do, at least inside the NVIDIA infrastructure. The first thing that AI was able to do is classify an image of a cat as a cat in terms of text. Right now it's doing the opposite. Create me pictures of cats, create me a picture of a horse, or like whatever, a cat on a horse. These type of stuff. And it started from that. So as a cat lover, I pulled out the camera and I was filming it as he was saying that, which was really, really cool. But yeah, the Disney robots were insane. Yeah. Your spouse is into engineering. Cool duo. Yeah. So he's basically in the HVAC refrigeration type of trade. He was also like building giant buildings. Still is. Keep saying was because we moved to a different place. It seems like a different life, but he's like an HVAC refrigeration mechanic, so he has like all his engineering stuff going on. He can actually fix them. My dad is an engineer. My brother is almost an engineer. He's going to be an electric engineer. So yeah, like working with like chips and like inventing things. So my entire family is very, very technical. And I'm not the only one in the software sector. The other half of my family is very software oriented, which is pretty cool. It's a nice combination, but all of us, we have our thing, our nerdy type of nerdy type of enterprises. We're all in it. Danielle, so cool to hear that. Hopefully robots for good. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Well, again, for now it's not too worrisome. I think we're not there technologically to kind of manufacture our own Arnold Schwarzenegger type of a Terminator kind of thing, but we're getting close. We're sure getting close. I always, given all the background, I always take examples from The Matrix. One of my favorite movies, actually, all time favorite movies. I named my cat Neo, as in the one, right? So one of my biggest inspirations, and one of the biggest reasons that I kind of had, since I was a kid, I was very fascinated with artificial intelligence, but I always looked at it as science fiction. So all the movies that had artificial intelligence, I was always watching them and I was always enjoying them. But I was reading an article about Tesla, about a Tesla autopilot, Tesla the company, not Nikola Tesla. And I was reading about it back in 2018, that it uses artificial intelligence technologies. And when I realized that it's no longer science fiction, it's actually science, I asked myself, why on earth am I not doing that? It's not just the future, it's the present. So I better jump on that horse and, yeehaw. That was my kind of sentiment around it. So it was very exciting. When I started learning it, I signed up to the very first course that I found. It was like a nano degree. I paid $600 for something I could learn for free, if I waited about a month. So, and the funny part is, like, I finished this nano degree. I received it. I passed all rainbows and butterflies, but essentially I didn't understand anything. I didn't understand what they were teaching me. They were kind of teaching me to pass, which is not why you should be teaching. You need to teach so a person understands. And they kind of failed to do it. And then I taught myself. And then whatever I learned, I kind of shared with you guys. Before you know it, the channel became very, very big. It wasn't supposed to be a big channel. It was supposed to be just kind of a way for me to find a job in tech. We're not there yet. we're in a completely different atmosphere. I think leaving this beautiful thing that I've built is impossible at this point of time, and I wouldn't want to. I enjoy it too much. I think I help you guys too, judging by your comments. I hope you're not just being nice to me and you're being truthful. So I sure hope so. But yeah, let's see some other comments. What I really like in robots is their intelligence. So I think a lot of the things you see right now, all those a lot of it is marketing. Okay. I don't know how truly intelligent those robots are unless I see them in real life and I get to interact with them. Like, it's very hard for me to tell if it's not some kind of a production. Because in the stream that I showed you guys earlier with Kevin McAleer, we were talking about Optimus. And to me, it seems like Optimus has eyes and he can actually, like, take laundry and he can kind of bend it. And laundry is very close to my heart, being a woman. I thought that it's based on interactions with the world, but it was actually planned in advance. It didn't see what it was doing. It was just kind of, and they had to take a few shots of it until it's good. So a lot of it is production. And a lot of the things you see in a video form are production. I know it because I film stuff. It's very easy for things to seem like they're real and they're not always real. So be careful with, like, what, my hair is terrible. I'm going to wear a hat. Yeah, it's not always truthful, what you see in social media. Engineering family, programming girl, makes sense. That's right. Actually, I was a graphic designer for many, many years, but I was always viewing programming as a hobby. When I got my broadband internet connection, back in the day, it wasn't obvious to have internet. Right. You would have it in school, you would have it in, internet coffees, but not a lot of people would have it at home. And even when you have it at home, you had to connect through, like, you couldn't use the phone when you were connected to the internet. There was like a weird sound, like weird sound for you to get connected. And as you were browsing, your entire family would be angry at you for, like, taking up their phone line. So you needed a phone line to landline to basically connect to the internet. And back then, as soon as I got my broadband internet connection, when you didn't, like, block somebody's phone, finally, this is where I started to kind of get into programming, because I think it was kind of a natural thing to do. Once you have an internet connection, you get exposed to all those sites on the internet, and you're like, well, what if I make my own site? I want to make my own site. So you start learning HTML, you start learning like CSS. At first, you put them on the same document. Then, as it develops, you put them on separate documents. Then you get into like JavaScript, and from there, you kind of explore more and more things. And it was always a hobby to me until I discovered artificial intelligence, and then I decided, okay, well, I better pursue this as a serious career. So it made me start this degree that I regret for starting, honestly. I just do it to make my parents proud at this point. I just want my mom to be able to tell her friends, like, wait, my daughter is a computer scientist, she has an official degree. So I want her to be able to say it. But I think in terms of the channel, and in terms of Python simplified, it puts me in a huge disadvantage. I would have been able to cover so many more things. I would have been able to learn more things on my own and share them with you guys if I didn't have this stupid university in the back of my mind. But I'm almost done. I'm almost done. And once you're done with it, you don't need to think about it again, unless I pursue a master's degree. But if I do it, it will be a very short one. I already know which program I have in mind. It mostly involves genetics. So it basically combines artificial intelligence and genetics. I want to understand how they kind of can be collaborated. Yeah. But I don't think I'm going to do it anytime soon. I want to invest more time in the channel. I want to like do some things that will help others, because I think we're nearing a time where if you don't have any background in AI, machine learning, you might be in a disadvantage. So and I think I have a means of translating this fancy scholar language into human understandable language. So I think it's an important thing. I hope so. And I'll try to pursue it a bit more. So yeah, the next semester is my last one, so it's going to be interesting. Oh, hello, hello, my dear Slipknot fan friend. Slipknot brother from another mother. Hello, Python Simplified. Long time no see. How's it going? Good, good, good. Just came back from a nice trip. As you can see, I'm full of merch and all kinds of cool things. Oh, by the way, here's something. If you guys are going to a conference, and something that I forgot to mention before I started answering all the questions, if you go to a conference and you wonder whether they'll be using business cards, and then you end up printing 250 of those. Okay, I have them here. Okay, I designed them very, very fast. I know it's upside down, but there you go. That's like my business card. That's the new logo, upside down again. Okay, I need to update it everywhere. I printed 250 business cards. However, when you go to the event and you get this thing, okay, tech events, they just scan the barcode and then they can find all your social media. Oh, my nail polish is terrible. Please don't look at it. You can tell I just got back from a vacation. So they scan this thing and then they find your social media information. Ironically, they find my Instagram that I haven't used for 3 years. There is nothing interesting on it. So that's the first thing they find. But next time I'll talk to them. I'll tell them, not Maria, but Python Simplified. You know? And then you'll find the YouTube and the LinkedIn and what. Actually, LinkedIn was there too. Yeah, it just wasn't first. I don't know why my Instagram pops up first. Maybe because I opened it more years ago. I have it open for like a decade, but like I'm not using it for the past few years. Okay, let's see. I'm graduating in computer engineering, and by what I see in Brazil, CV is not a guarantee of employment. Aha. Interesting. Well, I have heard from people that it becomes like a more competitive type of market. It becomes harder to find a job in tech, or the requirements are a bit higher. So, and I find it that way. I did experience working with other people from my university. Some of them were brilliant. Some of them were kind of just aiming to pass. If your aim in the degree is to pass, if you don't understand the material to a level of like, oh, I just want to pass, that's it, I don't think it's for you, honestly. And I rarely say these type of stuff unless you actually are passionate about it, and you want to get some materials from other sources and really kind of develop yourself. If you're at a point where you are barely passing a computer science degree, I don't know how easy it will be for you to be integrated in a job. It's not just in terms of the language you use, but it's also in terms of the way you think. It's in terms of the type of, because it does require a type of creativity, and it does require a type of problem solving skills that not all of us have. So as time goes by, and as there are more artificial intelligence involved in all our processes, especially in the coding processes, it will be harder for juniors to start. I'm not saying that senior developers will have a harder time, because senior developers, they have a lot of knowledge in the field, but junior developers getting your first opportunity in high tech, it will become harder and harder. And again, I don't know about CV, but I know that just because you finished the university, especially my university, just because you finished, it doesn't mean that you might be able to find a job, but the question is, will you be able to keep up with the things that you need to do on this job? Because there's some kind of there's the impression that us software developers, all day long we are just playing around. We're not really working very hard. We code a little bit and that's it. But no, they code a lot. They build, they design infrastructures, and it's not an easy life. It is a life where there is a lot of demand, and sometimes you take it home. So if you are counting on, fancy lunch breaks and fancy offices and billiards, at work, I don't think it's the case anymore. There was a time where I would say different companies were competing on talent, right? Like, oh, I want these people in my place, so I'm going to offer them this, and I'm going to give them this incentives and these incentives. I don't know if it's the case anymore. So it's tough. Yeah, the more of our work will be able to be delegated to automated models, the more difficult it will be to get an opportunity. It doesn't mean that the brightest and the best will not get an opportunity. It just means that it will become a bit harder. Okay, so you'll need to work a bit harder, and you need to stand out in a certain way. Maybe with your character, maybe with your communicational skills. Maybe there's all kinds of different ways that you can stand out. But that's at least my understanding of things. Let's see. I'm going to go to the very bottom of the comments because there's a whole bunch. Ooh, ooh. And Lior is saying it's the case in big companies yet. Gotcha. How was safety security in Cali? We wanted to visit Computer Science Museum in San Francisco, but got scared by the news. So before I came, I also read a little bit about the area, and I just can't be with a hat. It drives me crazy. I know my hair doesn't look good, but I apologize in advance. I have to remove the hat. I was also a bit worried, especially because I was traveling alone. And my initial thought was for me to take a cab or an Uber from the hotel to the conference every single day. Every single day. But I ended up doing this rule in the morning when there is sunshine, and when there's light, I would take a bus. Okay, to tell you that I felt 100% safe in a bus, I cannot tell you, because I never feel 100% safe anywhere. Okay? I'm always alert about things, especially in the past few years. But to tell you that I felt intimidated by people who I was sharing the bus with, I cannot either. I was just very alert. And some people were very, very nice. I had conversation with strangers. That was fine, but you need to watch out. You obviously need to watch out from it. But I didn't see anything, like, at least in the center of San Jose, I didn't see anything that caused to be alert. Any type of danger source, because there was security everywhere. I don't know about the Computer Science Museum in San Francisco, but San Jose, at least around the conference center, like, it was like perfectly safe. And if you were to stay in the hotels that were there around the center, you wouldn't get exposed to the actual San Jose that's around it, right? It's just me looking for adventures, apparently. Right? But as you enter the event, you always go through a security check. So even when you make friends with the security check, I made friends with one named Michael. He was still checking my bag, okay? Because who knows, right? You don't know, like, maybe you can bring something from the outside. So the security there was like very, very high. Plus, everywhere around you there are people with those green lanyards, so you kind of you you kind of feel safe because there's so many folks around you that are attending the event. Obviously, if you're not attending the event, you're not going to have this lanyard. And throughout the center, you see them everywhere. Okay, so in the center, I felt very, very secure. Also, when we went to the other museum, I felt safe because I was with three other guys. It wasn't a problem. When I'm alone, it's a different game. But when I'm like surrounded by people, it's always like you know, you're less alert, obviously, especially if they're guys. So three strong guys. you know? So it was pretty fine. How is it compared to Vancouver downtown? I don't go much to Vancouver downtown, but I cannot tell you that it's the safest place in the world. It's same rules. If it's daylight, it's not too big of a problem. Even if you're like on Hastings Street, like the worst street in Vancouver. Even in that case, if you're going around the daylight, the chances of you being like mugged or attacked are very, very slow because there's police everywhere. At night, I would not step foot anywhere near this area. Plus, Vancouver downtown, I'm not going there like for quite some time. There's things have changed, I guess, everywhere in the world. So safety wise, I moved away from the big city to a countryside for many, many reasons. One of them was the fact that we got like the entire building got evicted. But safety reasons was part of my consideration. And there's a different population in the countryside than there is in the city. People are more predictable. I think the problem with big cities like Vancouver is that you don't know what will happen next. You don't know, like you just simply don't know. You cannot predict how this adventure of yours will end. So it makes it a bit scary. So in a countryside, it's a bit more predictable. So I stayed away from big city. I enjoy it a lot here, but to be frank, I'm here very recently, so I don't know if I have a best. I'm sure I'll see some like bad things here too. There's going to be a downside as well. Yeah. Marketing yourself is now more important than ever, in addition to working on your craft. I don't like the term marketing because it kind of, see, the whole idea of marketing is that you make something sound better than it actually is, or you kind of divert someone's attention from like, don't look here, but look there. So this is the concept of marketing. But I think the ability to present yourself, or to kind of communicate who you actually are to the people, like the highlights of your character, I would call it that way. And plus, I think the biggest advice when it comes to finding jobs, the best jobs that I got in my life, the best type of opportunities came from people who I actually knew. So somebody who's working somewhere who can vouch for your character, who doesn't need this marketing campaign for you to kind of for you to go, oh, I'm so good, look at me, yeah. You don't need it because this person already knows you, so they can recommend you to whoever employer it is. My best opportunities were through this. Even Mario's job right now, like he's like a high-rise superintendent. It's not something that people do in his trade, but because he was recommended, he was referred to by a friend, they gave him an opportunity. So it's something that is important. So make physical connections with people. There's something called informational interviews, where you can reach out to people working in companies where you want to, kind of get integrated. And you don't come for it's not an actual interview. You just ask them, can you sit with me on a glass of coffee? Can you just sit and ask him like what it's like working when you're working? Sometimes they will give you an opportunity. And because you already have a conversation, because you already met that person face to face, maybe when it's time for them to hire, he'll be thinking about you. Oh, I'm looking for somebody to join my team. And it doesn't have to be like a human resource type of a person. That's not what I mean. But I mean like an engineer, like a software engineer working in a certain company. You can very often reach out to them through LinkedIn. You can tell them, oh, I'm a student, I'm finishing up my computer science degree. I was wondering if you can spare some time to kind of introduce me to the trade, especially if you have mutual friends, especially if you met them once. Because for me, for example, before I started school, I was just kind of looking for jobs in tech. I was in a one rehearsal of a local band. It's like a local Jewish type of a band that I came there, and the bass player, as I was leaving the rehearsal, and I was there only once. The bass player in the elevator on the way down revealed to me that he is working in AI. He's working in an AI company. So we didn't exchange any information back then, because I thought that I'll be back to the rehearsal to the next one, and it didn't happen. But then a year later, when I was looking for jobs in a field, and I didn't know how to like get into AI, and I didn't have like to the AI, I guess, career wise, to the AI field, data science field. Um, as I was trying to get into this market, I met another guy who knows him. So there was this. We have in British Columbia, we have this infrastructure where we can go, and they will train you how to get a nice job. It's called Work BC centers. Yeah, so they tell you how to make your resume. They tell you all kinds of market related stuff, and you meet a bunch of people in a group, and you kind of do a group session. So one of the people in this group, he was a software engineer, and he was familiar with the bass player guy that I met before, and basically he connected us together. And I asked him, like, how would somebody get into this field? Like, what do you need, and how does it look like for a junior data scientist? What exactly is your day looks like? And he told me, well, most of all, it's probably making data sets. So you'll probably be in charge of collecting information from. So for example, if you're working on a product that requires video input from some cameras, you would go to a train station, and you ask them for the data that they film for their cameras, right? So you arrange it in an alphabetical manner. You will label it if it's a supervised learning type of a model. You'll have some very basic duties, but it's mostly like related to the data set. So this is how somebody who is new to the field is entering. And it was right, like, it was a very interesting conversation. So he gave me like those basic highlights, but because it was like the middle of COVID, we couldn't meet. We couldn't like physically sit together in a coffee shop, because you were not allowed to sit in coffee shops. So it was like a phone interview, but it gave me a lot of valuable information. So it's just an example of somebody who I don't really know, but I met him briefly, and then I met somebody who knows him, and then kind of it's crazy. But if you think very, very well in your head, if you try to make it up in your mind, like, who do I know that may help me, you'll probably find someone. You'll probably find a way to connect with them, especially if you still have a Facebook, unlike myself, who deleted her Facebook a while back. But yeah. Can you make a course for Python, like Python language in the future? Is that really a language, or is it just something that Python is? I didn't know there's like a Python. I know that there's a C Python, which is basically Python, because Python is implemented with C. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll stick to Python simplified. I'm not gonna branch out to other channels. I think what we have here is a pretty good infrastructure. I don't want to change it. I like it. If anything comes up in the future, maybe I'll change it, but for now I'm pretty good with what we have. I like it. I could not possibly gain anything from it. I had at time the hotel room was very cold, so I gave my best. Maybe they're talking about some other stuff. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it's a continue. Okay, so let's start from the first comment. Almost 30 years ago, fresh out of uni, being armed with outdated knowledge. So it's a university thing. It's not just my university thing. I did a crappy job, and guy asked me for a bit help. I could not possibly gain anything from it, but I had time. The hotel was minus 10C, so I gave my best. 6 months later, he became big shot manager and pulled me in. Amazing. So you never know. Like, you meet some people, and you don't know at which situation they will be in a year or two from now. So I think it's a very important part of not only finding employment, but generally, socializing. It's a very important part. And many of us software developers, especially those who are working from home, we kind of forgot. We tend to forget how to do it. So, um, y- see that stories exist, and from real people with real experiences. Um, so yeah, try it. Meet as many people as you can, and who knows? Who knows? Will you be doing an updated Python full course? I was thinking about it, but I don't think that I'll be doing this at the moment because it looks like a lot of people are very interested in AI. And even though Python, you can implement AI with Python, um, I think there are a lot of existing courses that are really, really good when it comes to Python. And you can pretty much learn it anywhere. If you type introduction to Python, you will find a lot of free courses too. So, for example, Udemy, Udacity, Coursera, whatever online platform you find, it will probably have a free introduction course. These courses are decent. It doesn't mean that they will teach you the best type of stuff, but as somebody who's seen how my university teaches Python, these courses are way better. Trust me. The Python course, the introduction to Python course in my university was like disgraceful, honestly. I didn't watch it at first. So when I submitted my midterm project, I didn't watch it. I didn't need to. It was a web scraping project. Why would I need to watch, a video to submit this midterm? So the first half a year, I didn't watch it at all. And I got a really nice grade. Um, but I had to watch all the course because there was a test in the end of this module. Some of the modules, there are 2 projects you submit, some of them it's a test. So for this one, it was a test, and I couldn't afford to. Maybe he's covering something that I don't know. Who knows, right? So I watched the entire course. It was torment. I think that the worst part about it was naming variables with reserved keywords. So, for example, when you use the keyword list followed by a set of round brackets, you're basically creating a list in Python. It is a command. So the word list means a function. My lecturer was using the word list to name the variable. And I understand that it works. I understand that Python allows you this flexibility, but why would you show this terrible, terrible example to a bunch of students? Nobody codes that way. So what happens if you will need to use this keyword later in your code? How will the interpreter deal with it? It's just so irresponsible. I was very upset about it. But also, one of the things I noticed that kind of bugs me is that sometimes my lecturer call functions methods, and they're not methods, they're functions, or they're calling methods functions and methods are not functions. So kind of upsets me. But I guess because I'm covering Python and because you guys scrutinize all my videos, if I say something wrong, you always correct me. So I'm very disciplined when it comes to how I call things. If something is an attribute, I will call it an attribute. Sometimes I'll call it an attribute, but I'm going to use the right word, right? So it is what it is. Cool. Let's see. I'm going to end this stream very soon. We're going to do, I'm going to try to do a members only stream. We'll see if anybody is tuned in. I'm going to try to do it right after, but I'll need some time to make some coffee. I'll be back. But Peter, I owe my whole life. Yeah, Peter told us the story of the informational interview he had, and then kind of the person pulled him into the company once he became a big shot. So it's really, really nice. Any data science, AI, Python project in your mind which can highly impact my CV as a newbie? It depends what kind of positions you're applying for. So if you're applying for a company that is engaged in web scraping, do a web scraping project. If you are applying, so think about it from the perspective of your employer. Read the job listing that you're applying to. What is your dream job? And based on that, base all your CV. So if you're applying for a dream job that is using React as an infrastructure, you better do a React project. So it depends on the job listing, not just because the world of tech, there's so many different topics. There's so many different things you can do. So if you're, for example, If you're if you're applying for a gaming company, you know, you want to use Unity rather than, you know, Pygame. So, or maybe, you know, whatever infrastructure they use there. Um, it really depends. So go from the job listing and kind of adapt yourself to the employer that you want to impress, and that way he'll be impressed probably. But yeah, when you do one recommendation, I think something that is very stands out is consistency. So if you are able to create a consistent GitHub portfolio, right? Unlike myself, which is, I'll show you what is bad. I'll show you a bad example, but this is what I do. But I'm not really applying for jobs. If I was applying for jobs, it would look very differently. So if you're GitHub, first of all, if you have a whole bunch of stars and a bunch of forks, great. Your employer, it will be very hard for him to ignore it. Okay, so this is number one thing that you need to make sure. Well, it's hard to get, right? It's very hard to get even a single star on a repository. It's not an easy trick. So if you have it, it's the best. But make sure that you have a consistent timeline. Okay, this is inconsistent. If your timeline looks like this section of my timeline, great. If it looks like that, it shows that you're kind of losing passion. So that's my recommendation. Make sure that you have like you're coding once a week, or you're coding twice a week, and everything you do, commit it. Even if so here's the thing, you don't need a new project every time you make a commit. Okay, you just need to commit, you know, different, you know, sections of one project. So take the next month, or maybe the next 2 months, all this time that you're looking for a job, and kind of actively code and actively share your code on GitHub. I think you will see a lot of benefits from it in the eyes of the employer. Yeah, I heard it from a lot of people. Again, I'm not giving you employment advices because I'm not working in tech, but that's my conclusion. I have to sip some coffee. My voice is disappearing. So I'm going to stream until it's the 3-hour mark. I was actually supposed to stream for 2 hours, and I'm going to make some fresh coffee, and I'll come back for a members only stream. So in the members only stream, there's probably going to be a very small group of us. I haven't set up this stream yet, so I will set it up as soon as this one ends. So I'll probably see some of you guys. If you guys are not there and I'm alone for like 5 minutes, I'll go. Because I haven't seen too many members tuned in right now, because it's kind of an improvised type of stream, as you can see. Just kind of sharing my experience with you guys, and I'm going to cover it in a proper blog very soon. I go to the library or the McDonald's for an interview. For me, I feel much freer and I can use my creativity much more. I just need to start. I guess you guys are commenting about other things. Okay, I'll go to the bottom. Can you make a CASA diagram? I don't know what a CASA diagram is. Class diagram and database relations. Yeah, so database relations, I will cover it. I will cover some of the theory behind databases. We will definitely see it on channel, but I will cover the type of infrastructure that will be here to stay. You know, things that are related to the market. So right now I covered SQLite, SQLite 3 most of all, but I'll go into like MySQL. I'll go into like use case diagram. Okay, use case diagram. Gotcha. So yeah, I'll show you how to design your databases, and I'll show you all these things because I need to go over them myself once again. I had a brilliant teacher, you know, when it comes to databases, so I'm going to go over his all his videos once again because I apparently did not understand it properly. I need to kind of learn it a bit more thoroughly, and once I do so, I'm probably going to have to learn it on my own way. So first I want to have his background, and then I'm going to investigate it further. So you'll definitely see a lot of databases stuff. I think it's a complex subject, and I know that I would teach this very well. Yeah, so the reason why it's complex is because every type of data, it's a different case. Different data requires a different approach. So there's a lot of approaches that you need to know, and then you need to apply them on whichever data you're working with. So that's what makes it very complicated. There's a lot of variables, but I'll try to cover it as much as possible, and I'll try to distill it into this like very organized, quick lesson, as much as possible. Right? I'll cover some of the infrastructure there. Yeah, thank you guys for attending. Thank you guys for being here for this live stream. 15 more minutes. Contribute to open source project. Absolutely, Peter. But make sure your contribution is good. I've seen YouTubers like pushing stuff to GitHub for the sake of demonstration, but pushing like silly things that they shouldn't be pushing. So if you're contributing to an open source project, be mindful. Make sure you're contributing good work and not just some work, because if it's not, probably they won't accept it either. But yeah, make sure that your input is valuable, okay? Because everybody can see it. Hard to come up with a useful project on your own, for sure. But it doesn't always have to be a useful project. Sometimes it can be just a demonstration of your skill. And when you start slowly, you can start slowly. You don't have to think of the best project in the world, but you can develop it as you go. You can make it bigger, and you just need to show consistency. As far as if I was an employer, I'd prefer to see consistency rather than somebody who's already an expert, right? So I want to see someone who starts and he makes mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes, but the whole idea of mistakes is learning from them. So as you develop, kind of seeing your process, maybe your trail of thought, maybe the way you organize your code, I think it's very important. But yeah, I agree with much of it, by the way. Just giving it like a counter perspective. Let's see. Richard, my teacher is ChatGPT in Python, or whatever question I have with AI. I met a lot of people who have similar sentiments in the GTC, but many of them, I think that it's something that came out in the last, I would say, in the data science type of dinner that we had. I think Ken brought it up. He was saying, sorry guys, I have another message. I think Ken brought it up, is that when you use ChatGPT, make sure that you at least understand the background, because when you're simply using it, it may not manifest into a learning experience. It may just make you a bit more lazy, right? But if you understand how it works, if you have some basic background with whatever it is you're asking ChatGPT, then you can actually enhance your abilities, right? But if you don't have any background, you're shooting in the dark, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're not doing any learning. You're just doing you're just delegating those things that you should have learned yourself. You're delegating it to somebody else. So I think it was a very important point. So that I'm going to repeat it here. And it wasn't like a private conversation. It was like a public conversation. Everybody heard it. So that's why I feel comfortable sharing it. But things that people told me privately, I'm obviously not going to share with the world. It's not going to happen. Yeah. Cool. So thanks a lot for this great 3-hour live stream. Yeah, absolutely. My voice is disappearing right now. Hi, Maria. Do you like cats or dogs? I like both, but I have a cat. I was babysitting a dog for a few months, and it's a hard job, especially if you live in an apartment. If you don't have a lot of space for your dog to run around, if you don't have a yard where he can just poop on demand, where every poop is an emergency, it's a problem. So your content is mostly revolving around core Python, AI, ML, and web scraping, but would you sometimes plan to make content around data engineering? How aware are you of the data engineering landscape? So I have a lot of videos covering data science as well. Which part of data engineering, I'm not sure you refer to, because there's a lot of things you can do with it. So you mean like the infrastructure or the algorithms behind it? Like, I will cover it in the future, because it's an important part of AI and machine learning. Like data science, artificial intelligence, there are you have to know a bit of both to be a successful AI, engineer. You cannot skip one of them because your model is the data. Unless we're talking about reinforcement learning, where the absence of data is pretty much a requirement. But if you're talking about supervised, unsupervised, type of approaches, then data is very important. Labeling this data and distilling all the important information from this data is also very important. Feature engineering, especially when you don't have a lot of data. So I would say a lot of it is based on theory. This channel is mostly about practical. So this is how I separate it in my head. I show you the practical ways of doing things. Sometimes I show you the algorithms. Sometimes I'm showing you the concepts. But you usually watch the videos that you guys enjoy the most is where I'm mostly coding. So whenever we make projects together, whenever we implement those concepts, this is where you watch the most. So I think the new format that I kind of came up with is a hybrid of both. So the video itself is the implementation, but whenever I need to explain a concept, there's usually a slide coming on like in the back of me, and it explains the concept. I'm not going to separate the concepts from the implementation anymore. That's pretty much the goal. And I don't want to give myself restrictions of what I want to cover and what I don't want to cover. As long as it can be done with Python, you will see it on the channel. That's the core idea. And I don't want to push you to a direction of AI. If I see a lot of comments, a lot of requests, a lot of interest in those fields, I will cover it. I know that a lot of you guys are watching for GUI applications. So whenever I'm covering AI, I'll try to cover it with an application so that you can get enjoy both worlds. If it was up to me, if it wasn't based on your request and stuff like that, we will only focus on artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, but we focus on a whole array of different things. And I'm very mindful of your comments. It doesn't look like it sometimes. Sometimes I'm very busy and I don't have time to reply, but I always read, always. And I always base my tutorials off you. So what goes in YouTube, when you reach a certain, my hair is terrible. When you reach a certain amount of subscribers, you start receiving offers from sponsors, right? My email is full of them. Okay, I rarely reply. The only reason why I would reply to sponsors is if you guys already requested me a video like that. If you requested me a video about something and I happen to have an email waiting from a sponsor, I would work with that individual. But if it's based on the things that I want to do, or because I get a lot of emails saying, oh, Maria, we have this treadmill that your audience will really, really like. It's like, why would I understand you might like a treadmill, but what does it have to do with Python? What does it have to do with, maybe it uses machine learning, but what does it have to do with the channel? So I get a lot of these type of offers. I get a lot of tables, right? Like, oh, showcase, review my table in a video. Why? Why on earth would I do it? That's just insane. So everything you see here is based on you guys, and very soon I think I'm gonna do some changes in the membership, because I didn't even announce that there is a membership program. Whoever is subscribed to the membership program is doing it based on their kind of their will, and I really appreciate it, but I didn't announce it yet. So I think that the biggest change I will do is I will allow you guys, I'm basically going to ask you guys before something goes live, before I film anything, I'm going to ask you to review it. If you'd like, of course. You're going to have an opportunity to review the code and correct me if needed, or maybe expand on some points. And then we can actually make it a community type of more of a community rather than myself creating content, sharing with you, and then you comment on it. I want your comments to be embedded, in the content itself. So that would be really cool. So I'm thinking about that. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. There's some really fun things coming up now that I have an office where I can work in, an amazing office. There's so many more things that we can achieve together. So, the opportunities are just through the roof. Tobbs, great to see you here. Favorite video was the random trees video. Not going to top that. So the random trees video, I'm gonna pull it out. Hold on. In a forest. It's object-oriented programming video. Hold on, I'm going to pull it out. OOP. And of course, you cannot see it. Of course, Top's favorite video is this one. Okay. We are using OpenCV to generate a scenery, like automatically. We generate different trees, with different colors, different heights, different lengths, different sizes. And we do it like this. We automate this entire process. So what we do is we create a tree object, and then we basically generate the entire scene based on that. So if you're into gaming, if you're into Pygame, things of that sort, this will be very, very useful to you. And you are basically practicing a lot of things that you learn in this tutorial, in the Python classes and objects. You don't need to watch the inheritance tutorial to have the background for it. Which is really, really cool. But yeah, I also recommend it. I love this video. Not a lot of you watched it compared to the other ones, but it's a practice video. So you may really enjoy it. Thank you, Tops, for the recommendation. Let's see. Programming logic, building, data structures, and algorithms and OOP are my biggest hurdles in learning code, and I get burnout easily. I think for most of us, this side of things is the more complex. There's a reason why they leave it to the end of the degree. So the algorithm side of things, I think what makes it more complex is because it's very, very hard to explain the big O notation. And it's very easy to get confused when you are trying to trace how many time steps an algorithm takes. So I think at this point, we need to use some kind of a generalization rather than counting physically. There must be a tool, or maybe we can create it, that can physically count the number of steps. And because we are programmers, I'll be honest with you, I think we can actually automate this process already, right? It would depend on the language we use, because different languages have different call stacks. But I think we need to have a solution for that. I agree that it's quite complicated to grasp, especially if you don't have the right teacher. In my university, these courses, they were not, well, maybe the first course, because we had two of them. The first one was taught by somebody who has some background, but the second course, it was clear that she doesn't have background in it. So she just like, she was mostly a presenter reading from the teleprompt. And when your teacher is reading from the teleprompt and they don't really teach you, it's very hard to understand what they want. So that was in my case. So I'm going to have to reteach myself a lot of it. So maybe I'll cover it too. The problem with algorithms is that they're mostly implemented with pseudocode rather than Python, because they're relevant to any programming language. So I don't know if it will be completely relevant to this channel, but if I see a lot of, because I did see a lot of requests for an algorithms course, I just don't know how much of it. We'll see. We'll see. I might cover it. Okay. But object-oriented programming, I have a whole bunch of videos on the topic, so definitely check them out. Data structures, I'll have more, I promise. I need to learn it better. So that's why I'm going to, even if you don't want to, I'm going to film some, I'm going to film some tutorials on the topic, or at least, some blog posts or whatever. VS Code has almost become the default for Python in data science space. I would like your thoughts on PyCharm or VS Code. I do not use VS Code. I do not use PyCharm when it comes to data science in particular. I wouldn't use anything that is not a notebook interface. The reason is a lot of the data science processes require you to, plot the results. I don't know how convenient it is to plot them in VS Code. What I like to do is I pull out a Jupyter notebook. You see it in many of my tutorials, and I go cell by cell. So you load the data, and immediately in the first cell, you want to make sure that the data was loaded properly. So you print, the head of your data. I usually use pandas or cuDF pandas. By the way, check out cuDF pandas. I have this is something that, the GPU enthusiasts will really, really like. I don't know, not many of you watch this tutorial, but it's really, really cool. I used it a lot. You cannot see it because I changed my screen again. But yeah, cuDF pandas, much faster pandas with cuDF. Okay, so basically you are processing your data sets on GPU. And if you're trying to make a command that is impossible, to make it on GPU, if something requires a CPU, it falls back to the CPU. You're using pandas. You're not using anything like special. It's the exact commands you're using with pandas. It just requires a an installation and import of a package that uses your kind of GPU for that. And you need a CUDA based GPU for that. Okay. That's why it's called CUDF. But it made my, sentiment analysis pre-processing, it made it so much faster. From 7 minutes, it dropped to almost like 7 seconds. Like, I can't remember. I was basically, I was shocked. Okay. So check it out. I think you're going to like it. I don't remember why I was talking about it though. Oh, like which interface. So notebook. It doesn't have to be a Jupyter notebook. It can be a Jupyter Lab. It can be Google Colab, whatever it is. But you go cell by cell, and when you clean the data, when you go through this process, you need to look into it. What do you see when you use VS Code? Well, you see the printout of your console. But what if you want to see a graph? And what if you want it to be a chronological process? What if you want to add some markup cells, right? Some headings. Let me pull out something from my GitHub. Actually, I'm going to try to look for my recent project with TypePy. Let's see it. Hopefully it's here. Oh, I can't see anything. Sorry, guys. I have too many repositories. Way too many repositories. There you go. I found it. And let me make myself smaller. So I'll give you a great example. So if we go to the finished project files, and if we go to the neural network builder, okay, when we're talking about data science project, especially if they involve research, it kind of requires those markup cells, right? Because you have the headings, you have the introduction, you have the summary, you have the requirements that you can install directly from the notebooks. You can load the data, you can fetch some basic information about it. Then you can do a more thorough overview. You can explain what each of those cells mean. And it's something that especially in academia, especially when it comes to research, it's a requirement. You don't just present something, you also explain your reasoning behind it. And this gives you this reasoning stuff. Visualize a data set, right? You want to see how the photos in the data set look like. So you print 3 random photos just to make sure, okay, is that really an airplane? Is that really a bird? Is my data set labeled correctly? It's very, very important. So this is before you even apply any changes on your data set. Then after you create some normalization, when you reduce your data, you want to make sure that your data is still intact, right? So you want to print those images once again. You want to make sure that, by normalizing them, they don't look like something, completely different. So you explain your entire process, and it's very important in data science. You can see how, the architecture of this model that you created. And you don't have to, you can run it cell by cell. You can do it step by step. While if you're using something like VS Code, you probably need to run your entire code all at once. Here, you can go back and you can execute a cell, in the beginning of your code. You can go back to a cell in the end of your code. So you kind of the master of your own creation. So I much rather using Jupyter Notebook when data science is involved. And yeah. If you're building GUIs, obviously Jupyter Notebook is probably not the infrastructure to use. If you're building GUIs, definitely go for like PyCharm or VS Code or brackets or whatever it is you use. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's just my recommendation when it comes to data science. And you can make it, it doesn't have to be like light mode. It can be in dark mode. So folks, we are like well far into the third hour. Well, three minutes into the third hour. I'm sorry if I didn't have a chance to reply to your comments. I'm running out of voice, and I still need to do a members only live stream. Hopefully some members will join. If you're not joining within 5 minutes, I'll go. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to finish this stream. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. Tobbs, thank you so much. I'm glad you joined me. I know that it's very late where you are right now. So I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Hamza. Thank you so much, Anil. Thank you so much for Peter. 1000 thanks for QDF. Absolutely. Enjoy it. You're going to like it. Ahmed, please make some project on computer vision app. A bunch of projects on computer vision. Just type OpenCV on my channel. You're going to find plenty. plenty of stuff. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of other computer vision stuff you can do, like classifiers. Yeah, greetings, Pavel. Hi, Dziękuję. I know some words in Polish as well. So thank you, folks, for joining. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I wish I had more time, but I'm running out of fuel. So what I'm gonna do right now, if you're a member of the channel, give me like maybe 10 minutes. I'm gonna set up this stream. I'll be back for a members only stream. I haven't set up. Uh, Soon I'll set up an infrastructure where the moderators of the channel will be able to join those streams. For now, they can't. I need to do something called Brand Connect. I haven't done it yet, but I don't see any moderators in the comments, anyways. So it's okay. Like, they're not going to be mad at me this time. So let me grab some more coffee. I'm either going to heat it up or make some new ones. I'm going to drink it, and in about 10 minutes, I will see you once again. If you're a member, if you're not a member, you're not going to see it, unfortunately. But if you're a member, I'll be there. I'll be here to ask all your questions. 10 minutes. Okay. See you soon. Thank you guys so much for attending. Have a great weekend, you guys. And yeah, I'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye.